Talk about timing. Everyone just froze. Bad guys, good guys, everybody standing there with their mouths open like fish. I looked up and saw this woman floating down from the sky in a black dress, standing on the handle of that giant saber with one foot like it was totally normal. She had her back to me, but honestly, if you're making entrances like that, you're probably not ugly. Then she opened her mouth and said to the old guy who just tried to kill me, "You're just a little martial ancestor, and you think you can kill my husband?" Husband. She said husband. About me. I have never met this woman in my life. The old dude started sweating bullets and stuttered something about me having messy relationships with 5 other top-tier holy maidens. Which, okay, fair point, but also not helping right now, Grandpa. Then she turned around, and wow. Just wow. Absolutely gorgeous. She gave me this cute little wink and said, "Hubby, don't be scared, I'll protect you." My brain basically crashed. All I managed to say was, thanks. Real smooth, Xiaofeng. Real smooth. She announced herself as Yun Shueji from the Tyrant Saber Holy Land in the southern border. And suddenly my family's guards were losing their minds with excitement. My parents? They just stared at me like I was an alien wearing their son's skin. Mom and Dad exchanged this look that basically said, "What the heck did we raise?" I tried to explain. "Mom, Dad, I swear this is literally the first time I've ever seen her." Mom just smiled and said, "Sure, sweetie. We believe everything you say." They did not believe me. Meanwhile, Lu Xiyu, my lovely ex-fiancée who dumped me at our own engagement party, completely lost it. She started screaming that Yun Shueji must be a fake because there's in no way a trash like me could know a top-tier holy maiden from the southern border. Everyone looked at Lu Xiyu the way you look at someone who just volunteered to jump into a volcano. Yun Shueji barely glanced at her and said, "I'll deal with you later." Cold. Ice cold. I almost felt bad for Lu Xiyu. Almost. Then she turned back to the old guy and basically said, "You thought about killing my man, so now you die." She summoned like 100 floating saber blades out of thin air. The old dude threw up every defense he had. A giant wall, a thick shield of energy, and she cut through all of it like butter. Dude got shredded. And the sect master, Yin Shan? That coward took one look at my new terrifying saber wife and ran away so fast he left a sonic boom. Yun Shueji casually swung her saber through the air, and from miles away we heard an explosion and a scream. She shook her head and pouted. "Dang, didn't kill him. Didn't kill him? Lady, you hit a super-powered sect master from across the horizon. What do you mean, didn't kill him?" Old man Niu Zhan, who'd been protecting my family this whole time, landed and bowed to her like she was royalty. Smart man. Very smart man. Then Shueji flew over, grabbed my arm, and asked all cheerful, "So hubby, what do you want to do with those guys?" She pointed at Lu Xiyu's family. Lu Tianxiang immediately face-planted into the ground, begging and crying about how we were old family friends and they were tricked into betraying us. "Sure, buddy. You tried to steal my family's entire city, but yeah, you were tricked." He told Lu Xiyu to kneel too, but she went full crazy mode, laughing like a villain in a bad movie. Me? Kneel to that trash? I'd rather die. I looked at my dead guards. Good people, killed by Lu family soldiers, and whatever mercy I had left just evaporated. "Kill them all," I said, and honestly, it felt pretty good. My parents looked at each other, shrugged, and said nothing about my "kill them all" order. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Totally normal family moment. Shueji just nodded and said, "Okay," like I'd asked her to pass the salt. Lu Tianxiang screamed, "Run," and shoved his daughter away. The Lu family guards scattered like cockroaches when you turn the lights on. Big mistake. My hubby says you die, so you die. Nobody leaves. Shueji released some kind of invisible domain that covered the entire area. Saber blades flew everywhere inside it, and I mean everywhere, but somehow they perfectly dodged every single one of my people while turning every Lu family member into a pincushion. The screaming lasted maybe 5 seconds. Then silence. Lu Tianxiang, Lu Xiyu, every single guard gone. Just like that. I looked at the field of bodies, then looked at the beautiful girl still cheerfully hanging on my arm like we were on a date at the park. My brain could not connect, cute smiley girl, with just massacred 50 people in 3 seconds. "All done, hubby," she beamed. "So, can we talk about the wedding now?" "The what now?" She was literally inches from my face. She smelled amazing. My mouth went completely dry. Our wedding, silly. I even brought a dowry. She waved her hand, and poof, 3 bottles of pills, plus a big fancy saber appeared floating in the air. Same deal as the 5 northern holy maidens. Medicine for me and Dad. Plus a top-tier upgradable spirit weapon called the Shiwaji saber. Yeah? She named the saber after herself. I'm like 90% sure she came up with that name 5 minutes ago. I needed an escape route. I still have stuff to do. Oh, you mean wipe out the rest of the Liu family? Root and stem? I get it. She turned to Niuzhan. Hey, bull guy, go handle the Liu estate. Would you? Niuzhan was literally just standing there eating popcorn, metaphorically, and jumped when she called his name. Yes, absolutely. Not a single ant will escape. And he blasted off into the sky. Okay, that excuse was gone. Think, Xia Feng, think. Old man Xia is still fighting a Liu family martial king. I should go help. Hold on. She flicked her wrist. Her black saber shot off like a missile toward the martial arts pavilion. A blood-curdling scream echoed across the estate. The saber flew back with blood dripping from its tip. She dusted off her hands. Done. So about the wedding, I opened my mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Nothing came out. Mom and Dad exchanged another look and started ordering the guards to clean up the battlefield, clearly enjoying watching me squirm. Time for the nuclear option. OH, my stomach. I grabbed my belly and put on my best dying actor face. I feel terrible. I need to rest. Hubby? What's wrong? Shiwaji panicked and helped me sit down immediately. Just need a minute. Okay, rest. Rest as long as you need. I could see Mom and Dad smirking across the courtyard. They knew exactly what I was doing. They raised me. They've seen this act since I was 6 and didn't want to do chores. Shiwaji stuffed a spatial ring into my hand, her entire dowry. Whether you marry me or not, you're keeping this. I really shouldn't. I already belong to you. So what's a few gifts? Then she sat down right next to me and pressed her entire body against mine. Soft, warm, smelled incredible. My fake stomachache was becoming a real heart attack. I tried leaning away. She leaned with me. I was basically horizontal at this point. Thank God Niuzhan came flying back. Young Master Xia, the Liu family is destroyed. I jumped up so fast I nearly launched Shiwaji into orbit. Great. Thank you so much, Niuzhan. Let me personally express my deep gratitude. She grabbed my arm again. Of course she did. Niuzhan, suddenly being useful for once, brought up a real concern. Yunshan's brother, Yun Xiang, runs a top-tier sect, and the 5 northern holy sons are backing him. Even Shiwaji might not be able to handle all of that alone. Shiwaji didn't even blink. Yunshan's sect threatened my hubby? Yeah, they gotta go. She looked at Niuzhan. Gather every martial king and above from your sect. We're attacking Yunshan's sect today. Niuzhan practically skipped away. The man had been wanting to destroy Yunshan's sect for ages, and now a top-tier holy maiden was offering to do the heavy lifting. So to recap my day, got dumped, almost got killed, got saved by a saber-wielding wife I've never met, watched her annihilate an entire family, faked a stomachache to avoid a marriage proposal, and now we're apparently going to war. Tuesday, I looked at Shiwaji and honestly, I couldn't argue with the plan. Yunshan tried to wipe out my family today. These holy maidens won't babysit us forever, and the second they leave, that guy is coming back with a vengeance. Might as well take him out now while I've got a walking weapon of mass destruction clinging to my arm. Speaking of which, hubby, after I destroy Yunshan's sect, I'll steal all their spirit stones, weapons, and martial arts manuals and bring them back as my dowry. Then will you marry me? She was looking up at me with those big sparkly eyes and that sweet little smile, and I swear my brain just short-circuited. Okay, wait. No. Brain, what are you doing? You said yes? Her eyes lit up like fireworks. I said, it's probably not great. I backpedaled so fast I nearly tripped over my own words. Because if I agree to marry her, the 5 northern holy maidens are going to come back and collectively murder me. I said no to all of them. If they find out I said yes to the southern girl, this entire city becomes a crater. Oomph, you're so mean. She stomped her foot and pouted. All I could do was laugh nervously. Story of my life lately. Then the Sun and Li family heads showed up with their guards, claiming they rushed over to help defend the city. The battle ended like 20 minutes ago, guys. Real heroic timing. Dad saw right through it. These clowns heard the Liu family got wiped out, and a southern holy maiden was here, so they came running to kiss up. Dad played along, though, smiling and welcoming them like old friends. My father is a better actor than me, and I literally just faked a stomachache to dodge a marriage proposal. The two family heads spotted Shueji hanging off my arm and immediately bowed. She gave them the tiniest nod possible, basically the royal equivalent of, "I acknowledge that you exist," barely, and went back to ignoring them. Dad led them inside, and I shot him a desperate look like, "Help me." He shrugged. Actually shrugged. His face said, "She's a top-tier holy maiden who's obsessed with you. You're on your own, kid." "Thanks, Dad. Father of the Year." "Hubby, your swordsmanship is lame. No power at all. Let me teach you saber techniques instead." She was eyeing my Qingxue sword like it personally offended her. "I think swords are pretty cool, actually. Very stylish." "No, no, no. Sabers are way more powerful. Especially for a handsome guy like you. You need that raw masculine energy." I blinked. "Well, you're right about one thing. I am very handsome." She burst out laughing and poked my forehead. "Hubby, you're still so full of yourself." "Wait. Still? Was I always like this?" "You knew me before." Her face froze for half a second. Then she grinned. "What if I told you I met you in a dream? Would you believe me?" "Absolutely," I said, dead serious. Because I did make those dreams. With the dream pearl. I just can't remember a single thing that happened in them, which is the most unfair cosmic joke ever. I'm the owner of the dream pearl. Why do all 10 holy maidens remember everything while I got the memory wipe special? That makes zero sense. I was screaming internally. She took my serious face as sarcasm. "I knew you wouldn't believe me. But it doesn't matter. Just know that I'm your wife. And no matter what happens, I'm the person you can trust most in this world." Okay. I really need to figure out what Dream Me did to make these women so ride or die. If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have only dated one holy maiden in the dream world. Then I'd already have a wife and zero problems. But no. Apparently Dream Me was out there collecting girlfriends like trading cards, and now real me has to deal with the consequences. Mom suggested just marrying all of them. Absolutely not. These are top-tier holy maidens. They look cute and sweet right now, but if even one of them gets angry, she could literally erase this city from the map. Now imagine 6 angry holy maiden wives fighting over me. Yeah. No. Hard pass. Then Niu Zhan showed up with every strong fighter from his sect. "When do we attack?" he asked Shueji. "Now." She turned to me with the softest smile. "Wait for me, hubby. Be careful, Miss Yun," I said. And I meant it. Not just because I cared, but because if something happened to her here, her entire holy land would blame my family. We'd go from protected by holy maidens to hunted by holy lands real quick. She giggled. "You haven't married me yet. I'm definitely not dying before the wedding." And with that, she shot into the sky. Niu Zhan and his army followed. Inside the hall, the Sun and Li family heads stared at each other with their jaws on the floor. They'd just watched a holy maiden casually fly off to annihilate an entire sect like it was a quick errand before dinner. After today, there'd be only one mid-tier sect left in the whole region. And somehow, all of this started because my ex-fiancé called me trash at our engagement party. The Sun and Li family heads were practically tripping over themselves congratulating Dad. "Oh, City Lord Xia, you'll be the #1 city lord for 100 miles. So powerful. So amazing." Dad sighed and said, "I'd honestly prefer a quiet life." They laughed like he was joking. He was not joking. But at this point, even if Dad stood on a table and screamed, "I want to be left alone," these two would just clap and say, "What a humble king." I glanced at the 2 bootlickers and headed toward my room. Sleep. That's what I needed. My cultivation only goes up when I'm sleeping, which is honestly the greatest cheat code ever invented. While other people train for years, I literally just take naps. The problem is, my enemies are top-tier Holy Land saints, and right now I'm about as threatening as a baby rabbit with a toothpick. Gotta sleep. Gotta level up. Gotta. XIA phone. Let's see who saves you this time. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Yun Shan appeared on our courtyard wall like a horror movie villain, radiating murder energy so thick you could chew on it. My heart dropped into my stomach. He came back. Dad rushed in front of me. "You dare return? Aren't you afraid of the tyrant saber holy maiden slicing you again?" Yin Shan laughed like a maniac. "You think I'm stupid? I knew that old bull Niu Zhan would jump at the chance to destroy my sect. So I hid along the road, watched them all fly past me toward my sect, and came here instead. I hate to admit it, but that's actually genius. Evil genius. Shueji is stronger than him in a fight, but in the brain department, she's a teenager with a giant saber. This old fox played her perfectly. City Lord Yun, we're just passing through. Nothing to do with the Xia family, the Sun and Li family heads, who were just kissing Dad's feet 30 seconds ago, immediately threw us under the bus. Incredible. New world record for betrayal speed. Yinshan didn't even bother looking at them. Mom rushed over. Dad stood firm. Even old man Xia from the Marshall Pavilion showed up. They all positioned themselves between me and Yinshan. My family was ready to die for me. Yinshan just laughed. As long as I'm alive, I can rebuild my sect. And once I kill Xiao Feng, I can waltz into any of the 5 northern holy lands whenever I want. Your little sect means nothing to me. Then he attacked. A massive claw, the Yunshan claw, descended from the sky, covering our entire estate. It made his dead elder's version look like a kitten pawing at a toy. Are you serious right now? I just got my cheat code, and you're already trying to game over me? I was furious. Not scared, furious. This feeling of having zero control over my own life and death. Absolutely infuriating. When this is over, I am sleeping for a week straight. I will become the most powerful napper this continent has ever seen. Dad's face went hard. He pulled out a jade slip, something Grandpa gave him before he died, a last resort emergency, break glass in case of extinction kind of thing. He was about to crush it when a weird, haunting flute melody drifted through the air. Invisible blades of sound cut through the sky and shredded Yun Shan's giant claw into confetti. Dad quietly put the jade slip away. He and Mom slowly turned to look at me. Don't look at me. I don't know her either, but I did know. Well, I could guess. There's only one top-tier holy land that uses music as a weapon. The demonic sound Holy Land from the southern border. So this had to be their number 1 holy maiden. Who? Yinshan roared. A woman appeared on the wall, barely 10 feet from him. White dress, gorgeous face, incredible figure, porcelain skin, holding a jade flute. She looked at Yinshan like he was a cockroach and said, "You tried to kill my husband. You deserve to die." Your husband? You could literally see the gears turning in Yinshan's head. Every woman who's shown up to save me has been a top-tier holy maiden. Southern border. Music powers. He gulped. Are you? The demonic sound Holy Land's first holy maiden. Chi Wanner. Since you know who I am, just kill yourself. Save us both some time. Cold. Ice cold. I think I felt the temperature drop. Yun Shan's face twisted with despair. He whipped around to face me and screamed. How many freaking holy maidens do you have? I put on my most innocent face. Honestly, I've lost count. If you survive this, maybe you can help me add them up? You. The man nearly coughed blood from pure rage. He turned back to Chi Wanner and tried to name-drop his brother. My brother is the master of boring. She flicked her jade flute and sent a transparent sound blade at him. The blade hummed with this creepy demonic melody that apparently messes with your soul, because Yun Shan just blanked out. Eyes glazed over. Brain on pause. By the time he snapped out of it, the blade was already in his face. You know, at this point I'm starting to think the universe has a very specific sense of humor. Every time someone tries to kill me, a beautiful woman I've never met falls out of the sky screaming, "That's my husband," and obliterates them. And I still can't remember what I did in those dreams. The Sun and Li family heads were practically tripping over themselves congratulating Dad. Oh, City Lord Xia, you'll be the #1 city lord for 100 miles. So powerful. So amazing, Dad sighed and said, I'd honestly prefer a quiet life. They laughed like he was joking. He was not joking. But at this point, even if Dad stood on a table and screamed, I want to be left alone, these two would just clap and say, what a humble king. I glanced at the 2 bootlickers and headed toward my room. Sleep. That's what I needed. My cultivation only goes up when I'm sleeping, which is honestly the greatest cheat code ever invented. While other people train for years, I literally just take naps. The problem is, my enemies are top-tier Holy Land saints, and right now I'm about as threatening as a baby rabbit with a toothpick. Gotta sleep. Gotta level up. Gotta. XIA phone. Let's see who saves you this time. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Yun Shan appeared on our courtyard wall like a horror movie villain, radiating murder energy so thick you could chew on it. My heart dropped into my stomach. He came back. Dad rushed in front of me. You dare return? Aren't you afraid of the tyrant saber holy maiden slicing you again? Yinshan laughed like a maniac. You think I'm stupid? I knew that old bull Nyo would jump at the chance to destroy my sect. So I hid along the road, watched them all fly past me toward my sect, and came here instead. I hate to admit it, but that's actually genius. Evil genius. Shueji is stronger than him in a fight, but in the brain department, she's a teenager with a giant saber. This old fox played her perfectly. City Lord Yun, we're just passing through. Nothing to do with the Xia family, the Sun and Li family heads, who were just kissing Dad's feet 30 seconds ago, immediately threw us under the bus. Incredible. New world record for betrayal speed. Yinshan didn't even bother looking at them. Mom rushed over. Dad stood firm. Even old man Xia from the Marshall Pavilion showed up. They all positioned themselves between me and Yinshan. My family was ready to die for me. Yinshan just laughed. As long as I'm alive, I can rebuild my sect. And once I kill Xiao Feng, I can waltz into any of the 5 northern holy lands whenever I want. Your little sect means nothing to me. Then he attacked. A massive claw, the Yinshan claw, descended from the sky, covering our entire estate. It made his dead elder's version look like a kitten pawing at a toy. Are you serious right now? I just got my cheat code, and you're already trying to game over me? I was furious. Not scared, furious. This feeling of having zero control over my own life and death. Absolutely infuriating. When this is over, I am sleeping for a week straight. I will become the most powerful napper this continent has ever seen. Dad's face went hard. He pulled out a jade slip, something Grandpa gave him before he died, a last resort emergency, break glass in case of extinction kind of thing. He was about to crush it when a weird, haunting flute melody drifted through the air. Invisible blades of sound cut through the sky and shredded Yun Shan's giant claw into confetti. Dad quietly put the jade slip away. He and Mom slowly turned to look at me. Don't look at me. I don't know her either, but I did know. Well, I could guess. There's only one top-tier holy land that uses music as a weapon. The demonic sound holy land from the southern border. So this had to be their number 1 holy maiden. Who? Yinshan roared. A woman appeared on the wall, barely 10 feet from him. White dress, gorgeous face, incredible figure, porcelain skin, holding a jade flute. She looked at Yinshan like he was a cockroach and said, You tried to kill my husband. You deserve to die. Your husband? You could literally see the gears turning in Yinshan's head. Every woman who's shown up to save me has been a top-tier holy maiden. Southern border. Music powers. He gulped. Are you? The demonic sound holy land's first holy maiden. Chi Wanner, since you know who I am, just kill yourself. Save us both some time. Cold. Ice cold. I think I felt the temperature drop. Yinshan's face twisted with despair. He whipped around to face me and screamed. How many freaking holy maidens do you have? I put on my most innocent face. Honestly, I've lost count. If you survive this, maybe you can help me add them up? You. The man nearly coughed blood from pure rage. He turned back to Chi Wanner and tried to name-drop his brother. My brother is the master of. Boring. She flicked her jade flute and sent a transparent sound blade at him. The blade hummed with this creepy demonic melody that apparently messes with your soul, because Yinshan just blanked out, eyes glazed over, brain on pause. By the time he snapped out of it, the blade was already in his face. You know, at this point I'm starting to think the universe has a very specific sense of humor. Every time someone tries to kill me, a beautiful woman I've never met falls out of the sky screaming, "That's my husband," and obliterates them. And I still can't remember what I did in those dreams. Yinshan snapped out of the flute hypnosis just in time to see the sound blade about to take his head off. He screamed, Yinshan Wall, and conjured up an entire mini-mountain in front of himself. It lasted about half a second before exploding into dust. He blocked the rest with some fancy metal gauntlets, but the impact launched him backwards like a rag doll, blood spraying everywhere. Before he even hit the ground, the psycho bit his own finger, smeared blood on his forehead, activated some kind of forbidden escape technique, and tried to rocket away. Chi Wanner raised her flute to finish him off, but then she paused, looked at the sky, and frowned. Humph. She got here fast, she? There's another one. Life cage. A woman's voice echoed from somewhere in the distance. and suddenly green chains shot out from every direction, weaving around Yun Shan like a net. He dodged left, dodged right, but the chains kept crossing and closing, shrinking his escape route until, bind, the chains snapped together into a glowing green cage. Yun Shan was trapped like a hamster in a ball. He went absolutely berserk, punching and blasting at the cage walls, but nothing worked. And then, the cage started sucking out his life force. His hair turned white. His skin wrinkled up like a raisin. In real time, right in front of us. The Sun and Lee family heads were standing there looking like they might pee themselves. 10 minutes ago, they told Yun Shan, "We have nothing to do with the Xia family." And now another holy maiden shows up. The regret on their faces was delicious. I could practically hear their brains screaming, "Why did we say that?" I already knew who this was. Green chains, life energy, draining people's youth? That's the life holy land, southern border. Their first holy maiden, Xiao Qingxue. She appeared in midair wearing a green dress, carrying a glowing green staff, looking absolutely stunning and slightly annoyed. Every step she took made the grass grow taller and flowers bloom beneath her feet. So she can give life and take it. That's terrifying and beautiful. Terra-fertiful. Yun Shan had given up fighting. He just looked up at her with bloodshot eyes, his voice now a raspy croak. "Who are you? Life Holy Land." Xiao Qingxue. She barely glanced at him. "You threatened my husband. Not even death is enough for what you deserve." The man's sanity visibly cracked. 8? That's 8 holy maidens now. There are only 10 in the entire empire. What is wrong with you, Xia Feng, honestly? Valid question. I'd also like to know. Qingxue ignored him completely, teleported in front of me, grabbed my arm, and her ice-cold expression instantly melted into the sweetest smile. "Hee hee hubby. Sorry I'm late. Are you okay?" Yeah. I'm fine. Don't touch my husband." Chi Wanner materialized out of thin air, grabbed my other arm, and glared daggers at Qingxue. "He's my husband," Qingxue shot back. And then they both started competing with their dowries. Right there, in the middle of a battlefield. While an old man slowly aged to death in a magic cage 20 feet away. Qingxue waved her hand. 3 bottles of pills and a glowing green fruit. This pill helps you gather inner power. This one rebuilds your energy center. These ones help you break through cultivation barriers. And this fruit adds 300 years to your lifespan. Everyone gasped. The Sun and Lee family heads looked like their eyes were going to pop out of their skulls. Wanner refused to lose. She pulled out 3 pills and a flute. "My flute is called the Little One Demonic Flute. It's an upgradable top-tier attack weapon. It steals souls. Hubby, her flute is lame. My life fruit is better, right?" Qingxue shook my arm. "Yeah," I said automatically. "Hubby, that fruit is boring. My flute is way cooler, right?" Wanner squeezed my other arm. "Yeah," I said, equally automatically. "So, which one is better?" They both yelled at the same time. "Both? Both are great." Wrong answer. Now they were arguing about who I should marry. Qingxue called Wanner a demon woman. Wanner fired back that Qingxue literally drains people's life force. So who's the real demon here? Then Qingxue suggested they just fight it out. Winner gets to marry me. I needed to change the subject immediately. I looked over at Yun Shan, who at this point looked like a 1,000-year-old grandpa. "Hey, is he going to escape from that cage?" Qingxue giggled. "Don't worry, hubby. Unless someone is 3 full realms above me, they can never break out of my life cage." "Great. Wonderful. The cage works perfectly. Now if only someone could build a cage to protect me from these 2. I nodded along to Qingxue's cage explanation while secretly brainstorming how to get these 2 to stop fighting over me. But honestly, my brain had nothing. 0 ideas. Empty. Meanwhile, the life cage was doing its thing. It slowly faded away, and Yun Shan dropped out of the sky like a sack of old potatoes. Thud. Dust everywhere. When it cleared. Oh man. This dude looked like he'd aged 1,000 years in 5 minutes. Hunched back, cloudy eyes, shaking like a leaf. A martial venerable is supposed to live 5,000 years. This guy had 4,000 left, and Qingxue's cage just ate all of it except a few months. The guards were whispering stuff like, "I could probably beat him now," and "Can he even hold a weapon anymore?" Brutal. Yun Shan stood there, staring at me, being hugged by 2 gorgeous holy maidens, and I could literally watch his sanity leave his body in real time. His eyes went red. His face twisted into something between rage and complete madness. If I'm dying, I'm taking all of you with me. His body started building up energy. Like, a lot of energy. The kind of energy that screams, I am about to become a human bomb. He's going to self-destruct. Run. The Sun and Lee family heads, those two spineless weasels, didn't even hesitate. They just bolted. Didn't warn anyone. Didn't look back. Just pure Olympic-level sprinting. Qingxue and Wanner immediately shoved me behind them and started generating massive shields of protective energy, which was sweet. But they were also arguing, while protecting me from an explosion. This is your fault, Wanner snapped at Qingxue. Why didn't your stupid cage drain him completely? We're the life holy land, not the death holy land. We leave 1%. It's the rules. What kind of garbage rule is that? Well, excuse me for having morals. I should have just flute blasted him to death. When I had the chance, well, it's not too late. Yes, it is. He's about to pop. Even if we kill him now, the energy still explodes. Just protect hubby's family. They actually agreed on something. Miracle. Uncle Xia. Auntie Xia. Get behind us, Qingxue shouted. Mom dragged Dad over. Dad had that jade slip in his hand again. Grandpa's emergency button, ready to crush it. I looked at the situation and shouted, all XIA family guards. Behind us. Now. Everyone snapped out of their daze and sprinted toward us. Yun Shan was laughing like an absolute maniac. Die? Everyone dies. His energy hit critical mass. We were maybe 2 seconds from becoming a smoking crater. And then, a tiny paper talisman drifted through the air from somewhere far away, floated over, and gently stuck itself to Yun Shan's back. Like a sticky note. A magical sticky note of, nope. Huh? Where did my energy go? Yun Shan's face went blank. All that apocalyptic power he'd been building up just vanished. Poof. Gone. Like someone unplugged him. No. Come back, he screamed and tried to gather energy again. Nothing. Not a spark. Not a drop. He was basically a really angry elderly man with zero power. He looked up at the sky and howled. Who did this? Show yourself. Wanner and Qingxue both frowned at the same time and muttered under their breath. I caught something like, she's here, with the enthusiasm of 2 girls watching their least favorite classmate walk into the party. I already knew. Paper talismans? Southern border? That's the celestial talisman Holy Land. Their number 1 holy maiden, Li Shiqing. A dying piece of trash thinks he can drag my husband down with him. A woman appeared in the distant sky, walking toward us on a road made of floating talismans. Purple dress. Tall. Drop-dead gorgeous. Face cold enough to freeze lava. Who are you? Yin Shan croaked, sounding like a dying frog. Celestial talisman Holy Land. Li Shiqing. The guards absolutely lost it. That's 9. 9 out of 10 holy maidens. Only the celestial pill holy maiden hasn't shown up yet. She's probably on her way right now. Yin Shan heard this and literally coughed up blood. Not from an attack, just from pure emotional damage. The man was dying of jealousy and rage simultaneously. Li Shiqing raised her hand, and thousands of talismans materialized in the sky, blotting out the sun. It looked like the heavens had been wallpapered. I stared up at this with my mouth hanging open. Isn't this a little much? The guy can barely stand. Behind me, Wanner and Qingxue whispered something together. I caught a fragment. That's showing off. Get hubby's attention. What was that? I asked. Nothing, Wanner blurted. I said Yin Shan deserves to die. Yes, yes, yes. Totally deserves it. Qingxue nodded furiously. I looked at them suspiciously, but then turned back to watch the show. So to summarize, a half-dead old man tried to take us all out with a suicide bomb, got defeated by a post-IT note, and now a 9th holy maiden is about to obliterate his remains with 10,000 magic papers, while 2 other holy maidens behind me are whispering about how she's just showing off to impress me. This is my life now. Yin Shan tried one last move, name-dropping his brother. My brother is the leader of. Li Shiqing didn't even let him finish the sentence. I don't care if your brother is God. You touch my husband. You die. She waved her hand, and every single one of those thousands of talismans launched at Yun Shan like the world's angriest paper airplane army. The dude couldn't run, couldn't fight, couldn't even self-destruct. He just stood there and screamed, no, as talisman after talisman exploded on his body. Boom, 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 boom. It was like watching someone get hit by fireworks. except the fireworks hated him personally. His body got blasted into pieces. Then the pieces got blasted into smaller pieces. Then those pieces got blasted into dust. She literally erased him from existence. Everyone gasped. She's still going? He's already dead, but Li Shiqing wasn't stupid. She was waiting for his true spirit, that little glowing soul thing that martial venerables can use to survive and rebuild their bodies. And sure enough, a tiny glowing figure tried to sneak away through the chaos. Nope. More talismans. More explosions. The true spirit dodged left, dodged right, and then got carpet-bombed into oblivion. Yinshan was gone. Gone. Not coming back. Not even a god could resurrect him now. Everyone just stood there in horrified silence. This woman had just spent what was probably a fortune in talismans to turn a man into less than nothing. It was like using a nuclear missile to kill a mosquito. Except the mosquito deserved it. The Sun and Li family heads, who had literally sprinted away 30 seconds ago screaming about self-destruction, were now tiptoeing back toward our house like, "We never left. What are you talking about? We were here the whole time." Then Li Shiqing dusted off her hands, did a little proud head toss, turned to face me, and her entire personality did a complete 180. Ice Queen. Gone. Replaced by the sweetest smile I've ever seen. Hubby, she was on the wall when she said, "Hub," and I in my face by the time she said, "Bye." She threw both arms around my neck, batted those huge eyes at me, and with her lips literally an inch from mine, whispered, "I killed the bad guy for you. So, want to repay me by marrying me?" Her breath was warm. She smelled incredible. Her lips were right there. My brain was screaming two completely different things at maximum volume. All I managed was, "Thanks. That's it." She pouted like I'd just told her Christmas was canceled. I had to look away. I physically could not handle this anymore. These holy maidens are actual demons. Every single one of them knows exactly what they're doing. And if there weren't 20 people watching, I honestly don't know if I could have resisted. Wanner and Qingxue yanked her off me, each grabbing an arm. Back of the line, new girl, Wanner snapped. First come, first served. Learn the rules, Qingxue added. Rules? Shiqing rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. Hubby decides who he marries, not a queue system. Then she pulled out her dowry, 3 bottles of pills and a massive pile of talismans. Hubby, I've got explosion talismans, sealing talismans, flying talismans, invisibility talismans, you name it. She paused. Her expression got weird, kind of flirty, kind of dangerous. Especially the invisibility talismans. They're very useful. Like, for example, when those two are taking a bath, you could use one to hide nearby and peek. Not that there's much to see. I nearly choked to death on my own spit. Everyone in the courtyard just puffed. Guards, family heads, my parents, everyone lost it. Li Shiqing, what did you just say? Wanner and Qingxue exploded with rage. But here's the thing. They weren't mad about the peeping suggestion. Oh no. What do you mean there's nothing to see? Where exactly are we smaller than you? And then they both puffed out their chests. I wanted to die. I wanted the ground to swallow me. I wanted Yinshan's ghost to come back and kill me just so I didn't have to stand here watching 3 of the most powerful women on the continent argue about their chest sizes in front of my parents. I said absolutely nothing. Not one word. A single syllable from me right now could end civilizations. Mom, bless her soul, swooped in like a rescue helicopter. Girls, why don't we chat inside? Of course, Annie. All 3 of them instantly became perfect little angels. Because apparently, the one person these world-destroying holy maidens are actually afraid of is my mother. Future mother-in-law power is the strongest power in the universe. Mom was grinning ear to ear, practically skipping to the hall surrounded by 3 gorgeous women. The Sun and Li family heads crept over to Dad with the most pathetic smiles. City Lord Xia, we didn't run away earlier. We want to get reinforcements. Yeah, reinforcements. Dad didn't even blink. Oh, how kind of you. We really appreciate it. Smooth, Dad. Smooth as silk. I shook my head and turned to go inside. And that's when a strange, sweet fragrance filled the air. Oh no, not again. Everyone turned around, and yep, another one. A girl came flying in wearing a blue dress. Petite, cute face, mischievous energy radiating off her like a puppy that just stole your shoe. Hubby, the celestial pill holy land is really far away. So sorry I'm late. And there it was. Number 10. The complete set. All 10 top-tier holy maidens of the Great Xia Empire were now officially gathered at my house. I have collected them all. Someone give me an achievement trophy. Hi, I said. That's it. That's all my brain could produce. Hi. 2 letters. After meeting 10 holy maidens today, my vocabulary has been reduced to single-word responses and nervous laughter. What a dummy, she giggled. Not offended at all. Then she pulled out her dowry, 4 bottles of pills. The usual stuff, power-gathering pills, Dantian rebuilding pills, breakthrough pills. And then, this last one is a supreme quality talent pill. No matter how bad your talent is, after you swallow it, your talent instantly becomes top tier. The entire courtyard went dead silent. Then it erupted. See, here's my dirty little secret that everyone knows. My natural talent is garbage. Rock bottom. The worst possible rating. I trained for 500 years in the dream world and barely reached a level that Yun Shan probably hit during a Tuesday afternoon nap. So a pill that instantly maxes out your talent? For me, that's not just valuable. It's the single most important object in the entire universe. The guards were whispering like crazy. The Sun and Li family heads were literally drooling. I could see the greed flash across their eyes before they remembered that stealing from a holy maiden is basically a creative suicide method. Dad just stared at them silently until they squirmed and shuffled backwards. Classic dad move. Hee hee. Hubby, you have to take these. Yeju pushed the pills toward me. Especially the talent pill. I stole it from my master. You should eat it now before she comes looking for it. You stole it from your master? Yep. And if she comes after you, I'll just threaten to kill myself. Works every time. She can never say no when I do that. Everyone stared at her. This girl has been emotionally blackmailing her master on a regular basis. I don't know whether to be impressed or terrified. I looked at the pill bottle. I wanted it. God, I wanted it so bad. But then I looked at the other holy maidens, Wan'er, Qingxue, Shiqing, all of whom had risked their lives, brought their own dowries, and saved my family today. If I accepted Yaju's gift over theirs, wouldn't that be like picking a favorite? Wouldn't that hurt them? I hesitated. Then the other girls did something that genuinely shocked me. Wan'er sighed. Hubby, just take it. I hate to admit it, but this is what you need most right now. Shiqing nodded. She's right. Accept it. And then Qingxue. Sweet, competitive Qingxue smiled and said, even if you marry her, I'll happily be your concubine. Same here. Wan'er and Shiqing chimed in together. Concubine. Concubine. These are the 10 most powerful, most prestigious, most sought-after women in the entire empire, and they're volunteering to be concubines. Every guard, every family head, every single person in that courtyard had the exact same expression, absolute, brain-melting disbelief. I could practically hear the universe going, bro, these are top-tier holy maidens. Legendary talent. Could have literally anyone. Kings, emperors, prodigies, and they're fighting over you. A guy whose greatest achievement today was faking a stomachache. Yeju just stood there with her big, hopeful eyes, waiting for my answer. And you know what the worst part is? I still can't remember what I did in those stupid dreams. Whatever dream me was doing, he was apparently the greatest romantic in the history of all existence. And real me is standing here, surrounded by 10 goddesses, barely capable of saying, hi. My talent is trash. But apparently my game? Legendary. All 10 holy maidens were staring at me with those big, hopeful eyes, silently begging me to take the talent pill. Even the ones who were competing with Yaju were like, just eat the stupid pill, hubby. Then Shueji came flying back with Niuzhan, fresh from destroying the Yunshan sect. Niuzhan looked like he'd just won the lottery, which, honestly, he kind of did. His sect is now the only mid-tier sect for 100 miles. Done, Shueji grinned. Easy. But Yunshan wasn't there. Yeah, about that, I said. He came back here to kill me. Those 4 took care of him. I pointed at the new girls. Shueji's face went through about 6 emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, anger, relief, then resignation when she heard about the supreme talent pill. Well, she sighed dramatically. I was planning to keep hubby all to myself, but since they saved your life. Fine, I'll be a concubine. Another concubine volunteer. That's 5 now. 5 world-class holy maidens lining up to be wife number 2 through 6. Somewhere in the universe, every other man is crying into their pillow. I tried to address Yeju formally. Miss Sun, call me wifey. How about little Zhu? Fine, I guess. I told her I'd accept the pill but would pay her back with something equally valuable someday. She just kept nodding and going. Yes, 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 eat it, eat it, eat it, like a kid watching someone unwrap a birthday present. I invited all 5 Southern holy maidens to stay at the mansion. Stay? Of course I'm staying, Yeju laughed. You haven't married me yet. Why would I leave, right? Warner added casually. In a few years we'll bring your master a nice fat grandchild. Everyone nearly face-planted. This woman just casually announced baby plans in front of my parents. Warner has zero filter, and I'm starting to think the demonic. In demonic sound, holy maiden refers to her personality, not her flute. I told everyone I was tired and needed sleep, which was true. But also, I needed to eat that pill and get into the dream world immediately. Mom took the 5 girls to guest rooms. Dad saw off the son and Lee family heads. Nyojan somehow stayed too, apparently deciding he lives here now. I got to my room, opened the jade bottle, and the supreme quality talent pill rolled out. It smelled incredible. After this, I'm never going to be called trash again. I popped it like candy. No hesitation. 0. The effect was instant. My brain went from foggy AM radio to 4K Ultra HD. I picked up the bull technique manual that I'd been struggling with, and everything just clicked. Stuff that confused me for days. One glance. Understood. The difference between garbage talent and supreme talent is like the difference between reading with your eyes closed versus open. But I didn't practice in the real world. Why waste time doing push-ups when I could do 1,000 years of training in one nap? I laid down and closed my eyes. The dream pearl activated. White light. Dream world. 1,000 years of cultivation condensed into one sleep session. I woke up 3 hours later, stretched, and sat cross-legged on my bed. As always, I couldn't remember a single thing from the dream. But I could feel it. Something was different. Something was very different. Information about the bull technique flooded into my brain. I activated it instinctively. And then the sky broke. Spiritual energy from every direction came screaming toward my room like I was a black hole. It gathered above my roof and formed a giant white dragon made of pure energy, spinning and swirling before diving straight down into my skull. My cultivation started rocketing up. Heavenly Stage Level 1. Level 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Level 9. I went from Earth Stage Level 9 to Heavenly Stage Level 9 in about 30 seconds flat. That's 9 levels in one go. A jump that takes normal people centuries. By the time Mom, Dad, all 5 holy maidens, and Nyojan, who still hasn't left, came bursting through my door, they found me sitting there casually, 9 whole cultivation levels stronger than I was when I went to bed. The looks on their faces? Absolutely priceless. Yesterday, that trash Xiao Feng. Today, 9 holy maiden concubine volunteers, 1 destroyed enemy sect, 1 dead martial venerable, and a cultivation breakthrough so ridiculous it created a visible dragon in the sky. And all I did was take a pill and go to sleep. I am the greatest napper who ever lived. All 10 holy maidens were staring at me with those big, hopeful eyes, silently begging me to take the talent pill. Even the ones who were competing with Yaju were like, just eat the stupid pill, hubby. Then Shuaji came flying back with Nyojan, fresh from destroying the Yunshan sect. Nyojan looked like he'd just won the lottery, which, honestly, he kind of did. His sect is now the only mid-tier sect for 100 miles. Done, Shuaji grinned. Easy. But Yunshan wasn't there. Yeah, about that, I said. He came back here to kill me. Those 4 took care of him. I pointed at the new girls. Shueji's face went through about 6 emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, anger, relief, then resignation when she heard about the supreme talent pill. Well, she sighed dramatically. I was planning to keep hubby all to myself, but since they saved your life, fine, I'll be a concubine. Another concubine volunteer. That's 5 now. 5 world-class holy maidens lining up to be wife number 2 through 6. Somewhere in the universe, every other man is crying into their pillow. I tried to address Yeju formally. Miss Sun, call me wifey. How about little Zhu? Fine, I guess. I told her I'd accept the pill but would pay her back with something equally valuable someday. She just kept nodding and going. Yes, 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 eat it, eat it, eat it, like a kid watching someone unwrap a birthday present. I invited all 5 Southern holy maidens to stay at the mansion. Stay? Of course I'm staying, Yeju laughed. You haven't married me yet. Why would I leave, right? Warner added casually. In a few years we'll bring your master a nice fat grandchild. Everyone nearly face-planted. This woman just casually announced baby plans in front of my parents. Warner has zero filter, and I'm starting to think the demonic. In demonic sound, Holy Maiden refers to her personality, not her flute. I told everyone I was tired and needed sleep, which was true. But also, I needed to eat that pill and get into the dream world immediately. Mom took the 5 girls to guest rooms. Dad saw off the son and Lee family heads. Nyojan somehow stayed too, apparently deciding he lives here now. I got to my room, opened the jade bottle, and the supreme quality talent pill rolled out. It smelled incredible. After this, I'm never going to be called trash again. I popped it like candy. No hesitation. 0. The effect was instant. My brain went from foggy AM radio to 4K Ultra HD. I picked up the Bull Technique manual that I'd been struggling with, and everything just clicked. Stuff that confused me for days. One glance. Understood. The difference between garbage talent and supreme talent is like the difference between reading with your eyes closed versus open. But I didn't practice in the real world. Why waste time doing push-ups when I could do 1,000 years of training in one nap? I laid down and closed my eyes. The dream pearl activated. White light. Dream world. 1,000 years of cultivation condensed into one sleep session. I woke up 3 hours later, stretched, and sat cross-legged on my bed. As always, I couldn't remember a single thing from the dream. But I could feel it. Something was different. Something was very different. Information about the Bull Technique flooded into my brain. I activated it instinctively. And then the sky broke. Spiritual energy from every direction came screaming toward my room like I was a black hole. It gathered above my roof and formed a giant white dragon made of pure energy, spinning and swirling before diving straight down into my skull. My cultivation started rocketing up. Heavenly Stage Level 1. Level 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Level 9. I went from Earth Stage Level 9 to Heavenly Stage Level 9 in about 30 seconds flat. That's 9 levels in one go. A jump that takes normal people centuries. By the time Mom, Dad, all 5 holy maidens, and Nyojan, who still hasn't left, came bursting through my door, they found me sitting there casually, 9 whole cultivation levels stronger than I was when I went to bed. The looks on their faces? Absolutely priceless. Yesterday, that trash Xiao Feng. Today, 9 holy maiden concubine volunteers, 1 destroyed enemy sect, 1 dead martial venerable, and a cultivation breakthrough so ridiculous it created a visible dragon in the sky. And all I did was take a pill and go to sleep. I am the greatest napper who ever lived. But wait, it wasn't over. The spiritual energy kept coming. My internal power got squeezed and compressed until it transformed into something completely different. True energy. That's the mark of a martial master. 500 years of lifespan unlocked. Everyone was staring at me like I'd grown a second head. How is this possible? I could practically hear their brains short-circuiting. And the energy still didn't stop. Yellow Stage Martial Master. Mystic Stage. Earth Stage. Heavenly Stage. I was blowing through levels like a kid smashing through paper walls. Each breakthrough that takes normal people decades, I was doing between heartbeats. Then my true energy started swirling inside my dantian, compressing tighter and tighter until, pop, it formed a liquid. Then a little lake of liquid energy. That's a golden core. That's a martial king. 1,000-year lifespan. Nyojan croaked out. Martial king, like a dying man whispering his last words. It took him 10 years to make that breakthrough. I did it while sitting on my bed in my pajamas. The 5 holy maidens exchanged looks. Even with their legendary talent and special holy bodies, they couldn't do this. Mom and Dad were holding each other, cycling through excitement, pride, and, what the hell is happening to our son? Surely it's over now, right? Right? Nope. More energy. More breakthroughs. Yellow Stage Martial King. Mystic Stage. Earth Stage. Heavenly Stage Level 9. Then my golden core cracked open and a tiny version of me, like a palm-sized mini Xiao Feng, appeared sitting cross-legged inside my dantian. That's a true spirit. That's a martial venerable. 5,000 years of lifespan. As long as that little guy exists, I can rebuild my entire body from scratch. The pressure wave from my breakthrough nearly blasted my parents across the room. but the 5 holy maidens jumped in to shield them. Good thing, because a martial king getting hit by martial venerable energy is like standing behind a jet engine. Martial venerable, Nyojan wheezed. I think the poor man was having a stroke. It took him 50 years to reach martial venerable. I just did it between yawns. Is he a natural divine body? Nyojan asked, desperately trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The 5 holy maidens lit up. That must be it. Mom and Dad just shook their heads. They know my body. There's nothing divine about it. I'm as ordinary as bread. So why was I cultivating faster than a rocket? Still, not done. Yellow stage venerable. Mystic stage. Kept climbing. Kept climbing. Finally, it stopped at mystic stage level 9 martial venerable. The spiritual energy dispersed. The room went quiet. Let me just do the math here. I went from Earth stage level 9 warrior to mystic stage level 9 venerable. That's 4 major realms. 135 minor levels. In a few breaths. Normal people spend lifetimes on one of those breakthroughs. I did 135 of them during what was essentially a really good nap. The 5 holy maidens went from shocked to absolutely giddy. That's our hubby, Yeju giggled. Hubby is the best, the others cheered. Meanwhile, I was sitting there, just waking up, still a little groggy, when I noticed I couldn't go any higher. I sighed without realizing everyone was listening. Too bad the bull technique isn't high enough grade. I could have kept going. Dead. Silence. Nyojan's eye twitched. That's his sect's signature technique. Their most treasured martial art. He hasn't even mastered it yet after hundreds of years. And I just called it not good enough after learning it yesterday. To his credit, the man didn't argue. Because deep down, even he knew I was right. He finally asked, Young Master Xia, how did you do this? I had just noticed everyone standing at my door. I scratched my head and grinned. Honestly, I just took a nap and woke up like this. You know that silence where you can actually hear someone's worldview collapsing? Yeah, that's silence. Then the 5 holy maidens pounced on me, all talking at once. Come to the tyrant saber holy land. My master will make you first holy son. No. Come to my holy land. Shut up. I'm his wife. He's coming with me. They were all pressing against me from different angles, and I couldn't stop grinning like an idiot. My mouth was just permanently stuck open. Soft things were touching me from every direction, and my brain had fully surrendered to the chaos. Mom and Dad peeked in, saw their son being smothered by 5 of the most beautiful women alive, smiled knowingly at each other, and quietly walked away. Nyojan also left, shaking his head and mumbling to himself. The man had dedicated his entire life to mastering the bull technique, and some teenager just speed ran the whole thing in his sleep. So let me get this straight. Yesterday morning, trash tier cultivator, publicly humiliated at my own engagement party. This morning, mystic stage level 9 martial venerable, surrounded by 5 gorgeous holy maidens fighting over who gets to take me home, having mastered in one nap what the sect master couldn't do in centuries. All because I went asleep. Kids, never let anyone tell you napping isn't productive. Next morning, sun barely up, and I could already feel trouble coming. See, somewhere on a big fancy mountain, Yun Shan's older brother, Yun Xiang, the master of the top-tier cloud elephant sect, had just found out his baby brother got turned into confetti by my holy maiden collection. He called in his vice master Yun Feng and 10 enforcement elders for an emergency meeting at dawn. These people are usually in deep meditation at this hour, so you know it's serious when the boss drags everyone out of bed. Yun Shan is dead, Yun Xiang told them. Cue shock gasps all around. Everyone knew Yun Shan was untouchable because of his big brother. Nobody dared mess with him. And now he's gone. Killed by the southern border's 5 holy maidens. The room went silent. Because killing southern holy maidens would mean declaring war on 5 top-tier holy lands simultaneously, and their sect would get flattened faster than a pancake under a steamroller. But here's the sneaky part. Yun Xiang didn't order them to fight the holy maidens. He said, Yun Feng, take the 10 elders to Star Language City. Kill Xiao Feng. He's the root cause. Oh, and this is also what the 5 northern holy sons want. Classic. Don't fight the bodyguards, just kill the guy they're guarding. So Yun Feng grabbed all 10 elders, and they blasted off toward my city. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, I was chilling with my 5 Southern Holy Maiden fan club when I felt it. Multiple massive energy signatures approaching at ridiculous speed. All martial venerables. Every single one. 11 of them. My eyebrow twitched. I already knew who this was. Yun Shan's brother wasn't going to just let his siblings' death slide, especially with the 5 northern holy sons whispering in his ear. The 5 girls sensed it too. Everyone's expressions got serious real quick. Let's go see, I said. But here's the thing, I had a thought. A sneaky, brilliant thought. I did not use my martial venerable powers to fly. I just walked outside, casually, like I was taking a morning stroll. Why? Because these idiots don't know I'm a venerable now. As far as they know, I'm still trash Xiaofeng. And maybe, just maybe, I could use that. The 5 holy maidens noticed what I was doing, exchanged a look, and followed behind me without saying anything. Smart girls. Moments later, 11 martial venerables appeared in the sky above our courtyard, standing on air like it was solid ground. The leader, Yun Feng, was built like a tank and his energy was way stronger than the other 10. You're Xiaofeng? He looked down at me like I was an insect. Yep. Who are you? He introduced himself, Vice Master of the Cloud Elephant Sect, then turned to the 5 holy maidens with a confused look. Like, why are 5 of the most elite women alive standing behind this random kid? Then he got to the point. This boy is connected to the death of our master's brother. Hand him over. We'll send gifts to apologize later. Shueji laughed in his face. Did you even do your homework before coming here? He's our future husband. You want him? Ask my saber first. Her black blade appeared in her hand, vibrating with that terrifying domineering energy. She's right. The other 4 chimed in together, pulling out their weapons. Touch our hubby and find out what happens. Yun Feng's face darkened. He summoned a massive broadsword out of thin air. We don't want trouble with the southern holy lands. But Xiaofeng dies today. Then he swung. A blade of energy, 20 meters long, came crashing down from the sky toward our mansion. The shockwave alone was so intense that Mom, Dad, and Old Man Xia couldn't even walk forward. They had to stop and channel all their energy just to not get blown away. Dad's hand went to that jade slip again. Grandpa's emergency button. The poor thing has been pulled out more times in the last 2 days than in the last 20 years. The 5 holy maidens shot into the sky and blocked the attack together. Boom! The collision sent shockwaves that shredded every tree within 100 meters. If they'd blocked it on the ground, our entire mansion would have been flattened. And that was Yun Feng's real plan. Now that you're up here, stay up here. He waved his hand and 5 of his elders flew in to surround my holy maidens. 6 against 5. Their job wasn't to kill the girls, just keep them busy. Because the other 5 elders? They were still down here, with me. 5 martial venerables raised their hands, energy gathering, all aimed at one target. Me. Okay. So, 11 venerables show up. They lure my protectors into the sky. And now 5 of them are about to blast me into next week while my girls can't help. That's actually a pretty good plan. Too bad for them. I'm not the same trash I was yesterday. I just haven't told them that yet. Be careful, hubby. They're all yellow stage level 9 venerables. Shueji shouted from above. Yun Feng saw the worry on my girls' faces and smirked. He probably thought, the boss sent 11 venerables to kill 1 warrior? Total overkill. Oh buddy, you have no idea. Ladies, please stay put. Yun Feng said all calm and polite. After we kill Xiaofeng, we'll send nice gifts to apologize. The 5 holy maidens just cold-hummed and said nothing. They were waiting, because they knew something Yun Feng didn't. Mom, Dad, and Old Man Xia were screaming, "Be careful," from the sidelines. Dad had Grandpa's jade slip in a death grip again. That poor slip has gotten more action in 2 days than most weapons see in a lifetime. I sized up the situation. 5 venerables against me. My cultivation is way higher than theirs, but my best combat technique is just the flowing light sword, a high-grade move at best. If they figured out I was strong and attacked from distance, I'd be in trouble. My only shot was surprise. Hit hard, hit first, and scare the rest into making mistakes. I pulled out the Qingxue sword. Every single Cloud Elephant Elder's eyes went wide. An upgradable spirit weapon? Their entire sect doesn't have one of those. I could literally see the greed spreading across their faces like a disease. Die, kid. Elder number 10 couldn't resist. He charged straight at me, one hand going for a killing blow, the other reaching for my sword. He was already mentally picking out where to display it in his room. His palm was loaded with enough energy to flatten a martial king into a pancake. I smiled. He noticed. A tiny flicker of, wait, why is he smiling, crossed his face. Too late. I drew the Qingxue sword. One flash of light across his neck. That's it. Thump. His head hit the ground. His true spirit, that little mini person, popped out of his neck trying to escape. I grabbed it with one hand like catching a firefly. Mystic stage venerable? You're a venerable, the tiny spirit screamed, squirming in my grip. The other 4 elders who were mid-charge slammed on the brakes. They stared at me like I'd just turned into a dragon. Wasn't this guy supposed to be a trash-tier warrior? Mystic stage venerable? At his age? That's talent beyond even the 10 holy maidens. I crushed the true spirit in my fist like a grape. Pop dead. Then I charged straight at the remaining 4. No hesitation. I needed to stay close. My only advantage was my overwhelming spiritual power in melee. If they backed off and started sniping me with techniques, I'd be toast. The 4 elders were terrified, but cornered animals fight hardest. They rushed me all at once, hoping numbers would save them. Up in the sky, Yun Feng watched me one-shot his elder and his face went dark as a thundercloud. The intelligence was wrong. That idiot back at headquarters, yeah, your spy told you I was a lowly warrior. Off by about 135 levels. Maybe hire better spies. And that was when my girls made their move. The 5 holy maidens had been waiting for exactly this moment, while Yun Feng and his 5 sky elders were distracted watching me fight. Warner blew her jade flute. Demonic melody filled the air. The 5 sky elders, already distracted, went completely blank. Brain freeze. Lights on, nobody home. Before they could snap out of it, Shiqing launched a swarm of talismans that wrapped around all 5 of them like gift ribbon. Merry Christmas, idiots. Life cage. Qingxue trapped 3 of them simultaneously in green chain prisons, draining their life force at turbo speed. 3 at once was her absolute limit, but she went full throttle. Tyrant Saber, Death Slash. Xueji swung her black blade at one of the remaining 2. A wave of black energy screamed through the air, terrifying, domineering, absolutely dripping with death. And Yaju? Sweet little Yaju pulled out a palm-sized pill furnace, tossed it above the last elder's head, and it expanded to swallow him whole. She sealed the lid and started cooking him. With alchemy fire, she was literally turning a martial venerable into a pill. This girl is adorable and horrifying. Xueji's saber slash cut her target clean in half. His true spirit popped out and flew toward Yun Feng screaming, "Vice Master, save me." Xueji swung again. Black flash. Spirit confetti. Inside the life cages, Shiqing's talismans slipped through the gaps and stuck to all 3 trapped elders. Explode, Shiqing yelled, and every talisman detonated at once. The screams were brief. Then Qingxue cranked the life cages to maximum drain speed, way faster than what she'd done to Yunshan. Those 3 elders turned to ash and scattered in the wind. Yaju's furnace stopped shaking. She popped the lid. A single golden pill floated out. She had turned a man into medicine. I am never making that girl angry. Ever. All of this happened in maybe 10 seconds. By the time Yun Feng realized what was going on, 5 of his elders were gone. Damn it. He swung his broadsword at Qingxue, trying to save the last 3. Xueji, Warner, and Shiqing jumped into block, but this time Yun Feng was furious. His attack was insanely powerful. All 3 girls got knocked back, coughing blood. But those few seconds were all Qingxue needed. The 3 caged elders? Already dust. 10 elders came to my house this morning. 10 elders are now dead. 5 killed by my holy maidens in a coordinated attack, so smooth it looked choreographed. 1 killed by me with a single sword stroke. My family was standing in the courtyard with their jaws on the floor. These girls were only yellow stage level 3 venerables, 6 full levels below the elders they just slaughtered. And they did it in seconds. The girls let out a long breath. It wasn't free. They took some hits, spent some energy. But honestly, totally worth it. Now it was just Yun Feng. Alone. Surrounded by 5 injured but very angry holy maidens and 1 sword-wielding husband who was not the pushover he expected. Should have stayed in bed, Yun Feng. Yun Feng completely lost it. His eyes went bloodshot. His venerable aura exploded outward, and he screamed, "You're all dead," while channeling enough energy into his broadsword to split a mountain. For a second there, I thought he was actually going to attack my girls. But even blinded by rage, somewhere deep in whatever was left of his brain, a tiny voice whispered, "Killing 5 southern holy maidens equals 5 holy lands destroying everything you love." So at the last second, he swung toward me instead. The girls blocked him. Yaju chucked her pill furnace at his face, the same furnace she'd just cooked a man eye in, and he barely deflected it. Then all 5 girls surrounded him and kept him busy. Now it was just me versus the remaining 4 elders on the ground. And here's where things got embarrassing for me. See, I was dominating with my flowing light sword technique, slashing, dodging, overwhelming them with raw spiritual power. They couldn't figure out how a trash was beating them senseless. I injured one badly enough that he had to retreat. But then the injured one, sitting on the sidelines watching like a sports commentator, noticed something. Hey, does he only know one move? The 3 fighters paused, looked at each other, looked at me. Yeah, he does. Crap. You almost had us fooled, kid, one of them sneered. Mystic Stage Venerable with only one sword technique? How much power can you really use? They scattered, got distance, started launching ranged attacks. Cloud Elephant Technique. 3 giant phantom elephants, each 30 feet tall, materialized above their heads and came stampeding at me from 3 different directions. Okay, this was bad. I have one move. One, and it's a melee technique. These guys just figured out the cheat code to beating me. Stand far away and throw elephants. But here's the thing about having way more spiritual power than your opponents. Brute force fixes a lot of problems. I charged straight at one elephant, poured everything into my sword, and split it in half. The energy scattered like confetti. Before the elder behind it could blink, I was in his face. One slash, boom, sent him flying, spraying blood everywhere. The other 2 elephants crashed behind me and blew up my entire courtyard. Just gone. If the guards hadn't evacuated earlier, we'd be having a lot of funerals. The 2 remaining elders stared at me, trembling. I turned around slowly, sword dripping, and gave them the coldest line I've ever delivered. You're right. I only know one sword technique. But you also don't know my real level. I'm not just any Mystic Stage Venerable. I'm Mystic Stage level 9. One step from Earth Stage. I'm an entire realm above you. Their faces went white. Like ghost white. They started attacking from range again, desperately trying to keep me away. The 2 injured ones were popping healing pills and trying to recover. "Oh, you guys have pills?" I said. I pulled out a breakthrough pill. Right there. Mid-battle. Popped it like a breath mint. Boom. Energy erupted. My aura skyrocketed. Earth Stage Venerable. Every single person on the battlefield froze. The 4 elders. Yunfeng up in the sky. Even my girls paused for a second. Did he just take a breakthrough pill to jump a level in the middle of a fight? Yunfeng was screaming internally. In the cultivation world, breakthrough pills are incredibly rare and precious. You save them for major bottlenecks. Nobody uses one just to go from Mystic Stage to Earth Stage within the same realm. That's like using a winning lottery ticket as a bookmark. What they didn't know is that my 10 holy maiden wives-to-be had given me 40 of those pills. I had breakthrough pills the way normal people have spare change. "Have you ever heard the saying?" I said, walking toward the remaining elder. "Absolute power beats all fancy tricks." He launched a sword beam at me. I cut through it like wet paper. He summoned a giant fist from the sky. My protective aura blocked it. I sliced it apart. Then I was in front of him. One swing. Cut him clean in 2. His true spirit bolted out and dove into an injured elder's clothes to hide. Smart. Not smart enough, but smart. The giant fist slammed down behind me. Didn't even scratch me. I turned to the last standing elder. He threw everything he had. Techniques, weapons, desperation. Didn't matter. I was faster, stronger, and running on the confidence of a man who'd gone from 0 to God tier in 24 hours. Within minutes, he was sent flying too, coughing blood and crashing into the rubble of what used to be my courtyard. So let's do the scoreboard. I started this fight pretending to be a helpless warrior. One-shot an elder who got greedy. Got exposed for only knowing one move. Got attacked by giant ghost elephants. Ate a pill mid-combat to power up. And then beat the remaining 4 elders using nothing but one sword technique and the cultivator equivalent of, "I'm just built different." Now it was. Just Yunfeng left up there, surrounded by 5 holy maidens, watching his entire squad get dismantled by a teenager who learned his only move yesterday. Should have brought more guys, Yin Feng. Yin Feng was losing it up there. His 10 elders were getting destroyed, and he was stuck fighting 5 holy maidens who refused to let him leave. Get out of my way, he roared, swinging his broadsword like a madman. You want to kill our hubby? Walk over our dead bodies first, all 5 girls said in unison, like they'd rehearsed it. Honestly, pretty cool. Then Yin Feng said something that made everyone's blood run cold. After I kill all of you, I'll slaughter every single person in Star Language City. Then he'll know it was us. Oh, so we've graduated from revenge killing to full genocide to cover our tracks. Great. Love it. No red flags there at all. He threw his broadsword into the sky. It floated up, absorbing spiritual energy, growing more and more terrifying. Cloud Elephant Heavenly Might Slash. The sword vanished and reappeared directly behind me. I felt it before I saw it, like the entire sky decided to sit on my head. The pressure was unreal. Hubby, watch out, all 5 girls screamed. Mental note for the 10,000th time today. Learn some actual combat techniques. I'm walking around with the spiritual power of a god and the skill set of a first-year student. It's like having a Ferrari engine strapped to a shopping cart. I teleported a few hundred meters away. The sword followed me. I jumped again. It followed again. Yin Feng was laughing like a maniac. It locks onto your energy signature, idiot. Unless someone blocks it, it'll chase you forever, forever homing death sword. Wonderful. Just what I needed on a Tuesday morning. The girls tried to come help, but I stopped them. No, stay there. He doesn't have his weapon. Beat him to death while he's defenseless. I can handle this. They got it immediately. Kill Yin Feng, and his attack dies with him. Smart plan. Except I also had a smarter plan. I looked at the homing sword. I looked at the injured Cloud Elephant elders still on the ground. And a truly evil idea bloomed in my beautiful brain. I sprinted straight at one of the injured elders. The dude panicked. What are you doing? If you kill me now, the sword will kill you too. He thought I was going for a murder-suicide. Adorable. I appeared in front of him, whispered, bye-bye, right into his ear, then zoomed past him and kept running. He was too injured to teleport fast enough. The homing sword, still chasing my energy trail, came screaming through the air and went straight through his chest instead. Boom. Body exploded. True spirit annihilated. The attack was so powerful it killed everything, body and soul. Holy crap, it kills the true spirit too. Even I was shocked. Note to self, don't get hit by that thing. Up in the sky, Yin Feng watched one of his own elders get killed by his own attack and nearly had an aneurysm. And while he was distracted, wham, the 5 holy maidens hit him with everything they had. He went flying, coughing blood everywhere. Eyes on us, buddy, the girls said. Getting distracted in front of 5 holy maidens? Death wish. Meanwhile, I was already running toward the next elder, dragging the homing sword behind me like a puppy on a leash. A murder puppy. No. Stay away from me. The elder screamed, face completely white. This guy was even more injured than the last one. He couldn't run. He couldn't hide. He watched me coming at him like a freight train with a tracking missile attached. In his final moment of desperation, he went all in. If I'm dying, you're coming with me. He launched a giant phantom elephant straight at me. I dodged it, barely, and the elephant slammed into the homing sword behind me, shattering on impact. That actually slowed the sword down a little. Small victories. I teleported again, landed, and immediately another elephant appeared right in my face. One of the other injured elders had been watching my teleportation pattern this whole time, predicted exactly where I'd land, and preloaded an attack. Okay, credit where it's due. That was smart. I had no choice but to stand and fight. I swung my sword and shattered the elephant, but it cost me a second. 1 second was all it took. The homing sword was here. Die. Yin Feng screamed from above, laughing through his own blood. Hubby. All 5 girls abandoned their attack and turned to save me. In the courtyard, Dad gripped that jade slip so hard his knuckles went white. And the sword came down. You know what? Maybe I should have learned a second technique. The elephant pinned me down. The homing sword was screaming toward my face. I couldn't dodge. I couldn't block. This was it. And oh, hubby, the 5 southern girls went pale. Yun Feng's eyes lit up with victory. And then, 5 streaks of light shot across the sky like divine missiles and slammed into the sword at the last possible microsecond. Clang. Dong. The blade veered off course and sliced through my sleeve. My sleeve. It missed my actual body by the width of a piece of paper. I felt the wind from it on my skin. The sword tried to turn around for another pass, but 5 more weapons smashed into it. Bang, 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 knocking the spiritual energy out of it until it just fell out of the sky and stabbed into the ground like a tired old knife. Yin Feng looked up. 5 new figures were floating in the sky. 5 absolutely gorgeous, absolutely furious women. The northern 5 were back. We leave for a few days, and our hubby almost gets killed? What were you 5 doing? Usia, the celestial fox holy maiden, ripped into the southern girls like an angry mom who came home to find the house on fire. The southern girls looked guilty. Couldn't really argue. 5 of them fought one guy and still almost let me die. Not their finest moment. Okay, I'm fine. I jumped in before this turned into a holy maiden civil war. Nobody died. Well, I didn't die. Several bad guys died. Let's focus on that. The guards were losing their minds. Every single one of them was staring at the sky with eyes the size of dinner plates. All 10 holy maidens are here. At the same time. For one guy, the surviving cloud elephant elder who'd sneak attacked me with that phantom elephant swallowed hard. You could see the exact moment his life choices flashed before his eyes. Was it you, Zhao Lingxian? The blazing fire holy maiden turned to him with murder in her eyes. Did you just try to sneak attack my husband? She didn't wait for an answer. Red lotus hellfire. Burn everything. A fire lotus bloomed from her palm, flew at the elder, wrapped around him, and set his entire body ablaze in half a second. He screamed. 3 seconds later? Ash. Not even ash. The ash was on fire too. 8th elder. The remaining elders cried. Shut up. You'll be joining him shortly. Li Qingxue, the celestial sword holy maiden, drew her sword and was in their faces before they could blink. One slash. A blinding beam of sword light. Yun Feng reacted fast, turned his arms to stone with some rock technique, and blocked the sword beam head-on. Dust everywhere, but he survived. He was about to talk trash when a voice came from behind him like ice water down his spine. Not done yet. Frost blades. 1,000 miles. Lin Wanqing, the extreme ice holy maiden, sent a blizzard of ice daggers from every direction. Formation. Now, Yin Feng screamed. His remaining 4 elders snapped into position, 5 points of a star, channeling all their energy into him. 5 elephant wall. A massive phantom elephant materialized, roaring so loud it scrambled half the incoming ice blades. About 50% veered off target. Just hold on, Yin Feng shouted. I'll use a speed talisman to get us out. Speed talisman? Shiqing laughed. Actually laughed. You think you can run from me? She unleashed a carpet of explosion talismans that plastered themselves all over the phantom elephant and detonated simultaneously. The elephant's glow flickered and dimmed. Then Wanner played her flute, that soul-crushing demonic melody, and suddenly Yun Feng and his elders felt like they were carrying 1,000 pounds each. Could barely breathe, could barely think. Then everyone attacked at once. Xueji dove from above with a saber slash that could split the horizon. Qingxue dropped life cages on all 5 of them. Lingxian threw more hellfire. Qingxue, the sword one, launched another blinding blade beam. Talismans exploded. Ice shards flew. Music scrambled their brains. Please. We'll pay. 10,000 supreme spirit stones. Yun Feng was begging now. Actually begging. The arrogant vice master who'd sworn to genocide my entire city was now offering cash to survive. Who wants your money? You almost killed our husband. You. Die. Today. 10 holy maidens. Full power. All at once. I gulped. From down here, watching the assault, Yun Feng and his elders looked like a rabbit surrounded by wolves. Except the wolves were on fire, wielding sabers, playing demonic flutes, throwing explosive paper, shooting ice, draining life force, and extremely angry about relationship matters. It lasted about 60 seconds. When it was over, there was nothing left. No bodies, no true spirits, no evidence that Yun Feng or any of his elders had ever existed. 10 holy maidens had combined their power and simply erased them from reality. I stood in the rubble of what used to be my courtyard, clothing torn, one sleeve missing, surrounded by craters and smoldering earth. And somewhere, in his fancy mountain sect, Yun Xiang was about to find out that the 11 venerables he sent to kill one trash just got deleted by his trash's 10 angry girlfriends. Should have sent 12. Niu Zhan was standing there with his jaw so far open a bird could have nested in it. He mumbled something about how even a martial emperor would have died under that 10-maiden combo attack. Honestly, I believe him. Those girls didn't just kill Yun Feng's squad. They unmade them. Like hitting delete on a person. The dust settled. 10 holy maidens turned around, walked toward me, and I thought, oh good, the fighting's over. Now comes the hard part. Hubby, I helped the most. Marry me. The celestial fox maiden, Yusia, was first, pressing up against me with those bedroom eyes. Then all of them rushed in. I helped too. I helped more. If I hadn't broken their defensive formation, none of you could have. Oh please, my ice blades did the heavy lifting. 10 women. Arguing. About me. At maximum volume. My head was spinning so hard I was seeing little stars orbiting my skull like a cartoon character. I said nothing. Nothing. Opening my mouth right now would be like jumping into a shark tank wearing a meat suit. Niu Zhan, bless this man, stepped forward and changed the subject by thanking them for saving his sect too. The girls thanked him back for helping me. I thanked him personally with a deep bow because this guy really did show up when it mattered, unlike those cockroach family heads who ran the second things got scary. Niu Zhan waved it off like it was nothing, but I could tell he was thrilled. Being friends with a guy who has 10 top-tier holy maiden girlfriends and insane cultivation speed, that's the best investment in the history of investments. He took his people and left. We all went back inside. The grand hall. 10 holy maidens. Me in the middle. 10 different perfumes mixing together into the most intoxicating cloud of scent I've ever experienced. My brain was barely functioning. Sia popped a lychee into her mouth and started asking what happened while the northern 5 were gone. The Ice Maiden wanted to know how I'd attracted venerable-level enemies in just 5 days. Funny thing, none of them questioned how I went from a warrior to a venerable overnight. Like it was totally normal. Oh, our hubby jumped 135 levels in his sleep? Yeah, that tracks. I explained the whole Yinshan saga. They nodded along. Then the northern girls apologized to the southern girls for yelling at them earlier. If you hadn't been here, hubby would be dead, the sword maiden said, clenching her fists, clearly angry at herself for not being around. Then little Yaju, dropped the bomb. Sue, she said, blinking those big, innocent eyes. Since we're all going to marry hubby anyway, shouldn't we figure out who's the main wife? Everyone froze. She smiled sweetly and continued. Hubby's cultivation shot up so fast, and that's because of MY Supreme Quality Talent Pill. You know, the one that's basically priceless? The one nobody else could have provided? She dragged out the words, Supreme Quality Talent Pill, like she was savoring every syllable. Then looked around the room with the smuggest face I've ever seen on a human being. The Fire Maiden bit her lip, sighed, and said, she's right. Without that pill, hubby wouldn't have broken through to venerable, and he would have been dead before we got here. Fine. She's the main wife. One by one, the others agreed. Reluctantly. Painfully. But they agreed. And I, the actual husband, just sat there watching 10 women decide my entire marital hierarchy without asking me. Hey, nobody asked for my opinion. Yaju's eyes instantly filled with tears. Her lip trembled. She looked at me like a kicked puppy in the rain. Hubby, don't you like Yaju? Am I not good enough to be your main wife? Guilt. Maximum guilt. If I said one wrong word, this girl was going to cry a river that would flood the entire city. No. That's not what I... Great. The tears vanished like magic. Sunshine smile, back in action. She threw her arms around my neck and purred. Then starting today, I'm your main wife. You owe me a wedding. Don't forget. Not just hers. OURS too. 9 voices shouted simultaneously. Then they all crowded in. Every direction. Softness everywhere. I couldn't breathe. Not because of the pressure, because my heart was beating so fast my lungs forgot how to work. Okay, I gasped for air. I need to ask you all something. 10 heads tilted. 10 pairs of eyes went wide and attentive. Anything, hubby, like flipping a switch. From wild animals fighting over prey to obedient angels. Terrifying. This battle showed me I have a serious problem, I said, catching my breath. I only know one combat technique. The second someone figures that out, I'm in trouble. And the bowl technique I've been using has hit its ceiling. I can't advance any further with it. So, I need your help figuring out what to do next. And just like that, 10 of the most knowledgeable, powerful women in the empire leaned in to help me plan my training. So to recap, I now have one main wife, 9 secondary wives, none of whom I technically agreed to marry, 0 input on my own love life. And I just admitted to 10 god-tier warriors that my entire combat repertoire consists of one sword move I learned 2 days ago. This is fine. Everything is fine. The bowl technique is way too basic for you now, hubby, Li Qingxue said, and all 5 northern girls pulled out an ancient-looking manual. This is the supreme technique. It's only a partial copy, but it's perfect for you. She handed it over. Perfect for me? How do you even know that? All 10 of them just smiled mysteriously. We just do. Trust us. I mean, they were right. They did know, because apparently Dream Me used this exact technique to become an all-powerful god. But since they remember the dreams, and I don't, I'm basically taking relationship advice from 10 women who know me better than I know myself. The second I touched the manual, it turned into golden light and absorbed into my body, just phased right through my skin like a ghost. A golden page formed inside my dantian and started purifying my spiritual energy on its own. This technique was alive. It had its own consciousness. It was basically redecorating my insides without asking permission. What level is this thing? I asked. It doesn't have a level, Shuaji said. It grows with you. This partial copy can take you all the way to heavenly stage level 9 martial saint. Martial saint. Saint. That's the realm above venerable. And this is just the incomplete version. This is way too expensive. I can't. Take it. Only you can use it properly. Nobody else is worthy of it. 10 women told me to shut up and accept the gift. So I did. Because at this point, my pride has been beaten into submission by an army of beautiful women bearing presents. First time accepting handouts was hard. Now, I'm a professional kept man and I've made peace with it. Then Shueji remembered something. Oh right, combat techniques. She pulled out a storage ring and dumped like 100 martial arts manuals on the floor. High-grade techniques from the destroyed Yunshan sect. Cloud Mountain Palm. Dragon Slayer Blade. Blood Demon Explosion. The pile looked like a library had thrown up on my carpet. My eyes lit up. This was exactly what I needed. My entire problem in today's fight was having one move. Now I had a buffet of options. I picked out a few. The Cloud Mountain Hand Technique. The same move Yunshan used. Poetic Justice, and a movement technique called Phantom Dream Steps. It was only mid-grade, but honestly, dodging is more important than hitting. If you can't touch me, your 10,000-year-old ultimate technique is just a fancy light show. By the time I finished browsing, it was deep into the night. Mom set up the girls in the best guest rooms. Everyone was exhausted from the battle. I rushed back to my room with the supreme technique and all my new manuals, practically vibrating with excitement. One good sleep, and I'd master all of this in the dream world. 1,000 years of practice in one nap. I'd wake up tomorrow as a completely different fighter. I laid down, closed my eyes. Nothing. I rolled over, punched my pillow, tried counting sheep, tried counting spirit stones, tried counting holy maidens. That just made my heart rate go up. I could not sleep. Are you kidding me? My entire power system runs on napping, and tonight, the one night where I have the most important training materials of my life, my brain decides to throw a party instead of shutting down. Half an hour of tossing and turning. Nothing. I was too excited, too wired, too full of, I just got the most broken cultivation technique in existence, and I want to use it now. Then it hit me. Usia, the celestial fox holy maiden. She specializes in charm and seduction techniques. She can make people lose consciousness with a glance. If she used her power on me, that's basically a sleeping pill. Genius. I jumped out of bed and speed-walked to her room before my brain could catch up with what my body was doing. I arrived at her door, raised my fist to knock, and then froze. It was the middle of the night. The entire mansion was dark and quiet, and I, a grown man, was about to knock on the bedroom door of a gorgeous young woman. At midnight. Maybe. I should come back tomorrow. I sighed and turned around. Creak. The door opened behind me. A devastatingly beautiful face peeked out. Usia licked her lips, raised one eyebrow, and purred. Hubby, you came all the way here. And now you're leaving, before I could explain that I just needed help falling asleep. just sleeping, literally just unconsciousness. Her soft white hand grabbed my wrist and yanked me inside. Since you came to find me, I'll keep you company tonight. Her room smelled incredible. Moonlight poured through the window, and there she was in a thin silk nightgown that left approximately nothing to the imagination. And my brain, the same brain that refused to fall asleep 5 minutes ago, was now desperately trying to shut down for entirely different reasons. I came here for a sleep aid. This is not what I had in mind. Or was it? No, it wasn't. Focus, Xiaofeng. Focus. Sia's natural charm aura hit me like a truck. My brain started having very ungentlemanly thoughts, and I had to literally bite my own tongue to snap out of it. She pulled me onto her bed, draped her arms around my neck, and whispered, "It's okay, hubby, we're basically married anyway, so why resist?" And oh, misunderstanding. I jumped up so fast I nearly hit the ceiling. "I just can't sleep. I need you to use your charm technique to knock me out. That's all." Her face dropped instantly, like someone told her Christmas was canceled, her birthday was fake, and puppies don't exist. "Oh, just that, yeah?" She was disappointed that I wasn't here to. She'd been hoping I'd finally come to my senses, especially since everyone agreed today that Yaju is the main wife. Sia figured if she could be my first, that would still count for something. Then she narrowed her eyes suspiciously. "Wait a minute, hubby. We're cultivators. If you can't sleep, just absorb spiritual energy. You don't need sleep to recover. Are you sure you're not just too shy to admit why you're really here?" "I'm not." This girl turned my completely legitimate request into a pickup line. I explained that I actually cultivate faster in my dreams, way faster than normal training. So I genuinely needed to sleep. "Oh," she nodded thoughtfully. "Okay then, my dear hubby, sweet dreams. Think of me in there, okay?" Her eyes flashed purple. She wrapped her arms around my neck, her breath warm and fragrant on my face, and whispered in this impossibly soft voice that seemed to reach directly into my soul. My eyelids got heavy. The world went fuzzy. The last thing I saw was her beautiful face inches from mine. Then, darkness. Dream world activated. The dream pearl hung in the sky like a tiny moon, spinning and building an entire world around me. The Supreme Technique's golden page floated up and started whispering its secrets. Ancient knowledge poured into my brain like water into a cup. And with the talent pill's effects, my comprehension speed was insane. Things that would have taken 5 or 6 explanations before now clicked on the first try. I was learning several times faster than my first dream session. But this time, I made a strategic decision. Instead of power leveling my cultivation, I focused on combat techniques. Because yesterday taught me a painful lesson. Having God-tier spiritual power with one sword move is like owning a race car, but only knowing how to turn left. I spent 1,000 dream years practicing martial arts. 1,000 years. Fist techniques, kicks, movement arts. I drilled dozens of Cloud Mountain sect techniques until they were burned into my muscle memory. 3 hours passed in the real world. I opened my eyes and remembered everything. My top 4 new moves. 9 Heavens Cloud Dragon Slash, a devastating sword technique that pairs perfectly with my Qingxue sword. Combined power? Multiplied. Cloud Mountain Hand, the same barehanded technique Yin Shan used against me. Ironic? Yes. Effective? Extremely. If I'd known this move yesterday, those Cloud Elephant Elders would have been a joke. Blood Demon Explosion. Burn my own blood to temporarily jump one whole realm. Massive side effects. Hurts like hell, but when you're about to die, side effects are a tomorrow problem. Phantom Dream Steps. Movement technique that makes me so fast I leave after images. Can't kill what you can't catch. Dozens of techniques, all mastered to perfection. I was still Earth Stage Venerable, but I could now fight a Heavenly Stage Venerable. Yesterday, I had one move. Today, I have an entire arsenal. Sleep training is broken. "Hubby, you're awake?" I turned to find Sia sitting right where I'd left her, chin resting in her hands, staring at me with those dreamy eyes. Her bed was still perfectly made. She hadn't slept at all. "You watched me sleep the entire night?" "Yep." Almost died of boredom. She fake pouted, then grinned mischievously. "You owe me now, hubby. Next time, you stay up with me all night. We'll do dual cultivation, it'll be even more effective." My mouth twitched. This woman's flirting is so aggressive it makes me. A guy who's literally fought martial venerables. completely speechless. We'll talk about that later. First, knock me out again. Again, I pulled out a purple dragon fruit from my storage ring. A gift from the purple thunder holy maiden. It was crackling with tiny lightning bolts inside. I need to eat this, then go back to sleep immediately. Last night was technique training. This round is power leveling. The fruit transforms my body and boosts my talent even further. I need to absorb it in the dream world for maximum effect. Because here's my logic. I mastered the techniques first, so the supreme technique training would go smoother. Maximum efficiency. I've turned napping into a science. Also, the enemies keep getting stronger. Today it was a vice master with 11 venerables. Tomorrow could be worse. The girls can't protect me forever. I need to stand on my own. I swallowed the purple fruit. Immediately my body felt like it was on fire and being electrocuted at the same time. Lightning coursed through my veins. Now? Do it now, Sia nodded. Hit me with those soul-stealing purple eyes, full power charm blast, and I was out. So yes, my training regimen is eat magical fruit, get seduced into unconsciousness by a fox goddess, then spend a millennium practicing kung fu in my dreams. If anyone asks why I'm so powerful, I genuinely don't know how to explain this without sounding insane. Dream world. Pain. So much pain. Imagine every cell in your body getting struck by lightning, exploding, and then regrowing. Now imagine that happening everywhere at once. For hours. That's what the purple thunder body transformation feels like. The purple lightning was ripping through my bones, my muscles, my blood, destroying everything and rebuilding it from scratch. Within half a day of dream time, I looked like I'd been dunked in a blender full of razors. Just a walking blood puddle with teeth. Now, here's the thing. I could have done this transformation the easy way. Pop the fruit in the real world. Let the girls help me. Take some pain relief pills. Done in a day. Nice and comfortable. But I'm not built for comfortable. I'm built for stupid. I deliberately ate the fruit and went into the dream world so I could stretch the transformation over 1,000 years. Because in the dream, I control the pace. I can grind the process, refine it, polish every single cell until my purple thunder body isn't just good, it's perfect. Normal people get a body transformation and call it a day. I got a body transformation and called it a millennium. This hurts so much I want to die was basically my internal monologue for the first 100 years. But slowly, very slowly, purple light started flickering through my meridians. I could feel the lightning responding to me, like it was becoming part of me instead of attacking me. And the supreme technique? It was playing in the background the entire time like the world's most epic study playlist. Golden pages floating overhead, ancient wisdom pouring into my ears. And with the purple thunder body boosting my comprehension, things that should have taken 5 tries now clicked instantly. 1,000 dream years passed. 3 hours in reality. Meanwhile, in the real world, Sia was sitting next to my unconscious body having a full-blown anxiety attack. See, from her perspective, I looked terrible. My body was going through the transformation in real time. Lightning crackling across my skin, but my spiritual energy was completely dead. No cultivation activity at all. Just a guy getting zapped by internal lightning with zero sign of absorbing anything. She knew that a failed purple thunder body transformation could mean exploded dantian, shattered meridians, or straight-up death. And I was just lying there like a very electrified corpse. Should I wake him up? She was reaching for me when, no need. I'm awake. Her face went from terrified to overjoyed in half a second. Hubby, are you okay? Did it work? Relax. Purple thunder body, complete. I stood up, stretched, and felt different. Electric. Like I could taste the lightning in the air. My entire body had been rebuilt from the ground up. Sia looked confused though. But, where's the power surge? When you transform your body, your cultivation should jump at least 1 level. Your energy feels exactly the same as before. I grinned. Give it a second. I sat down cross-legged and let the dream cultivation sync up with reality. The sky exploded. Thunder clouds materialized out of nowhere above the mansion. Lightning danced inside them like angry snakes. Spiritual energy from every direction came screaming toward me like I was a magnet made of pure cosmic hunger. That's the thunder heavenly image. Is that Xia Feng? Wang Yue, the purple thunder holy maiden herself, sensed it from across the mansion and teleported to Sia's room instantly. Why is he in your room? Did he eat the thunder fruit? I was helping him train. Sia shot back without taking her eyes off me. Less questions, more helping. If something goes wrong, we need to act immediately. The other holy maidens started appearing one by one. Xueji, Yaju, Shiqing, Qingxue, all of them flashing into the room with worried faces. This energy is way too violent. His body can't absorb this much. What is happening? Then I grunted. A massive wave of energy pulsed out of me. He's breaking through. That's heavenly stage venerable energy, Yaju shouted. All 10 girls instantly stopped panicking and switched to formation. Without a word, they surrounded me in a circle and sat down, channeling their own energy to stabilize mine. 10 top-tier holy maidens, acting as my personal cultivation support team. Spiritual energy continued flooding in like a tsunami. My cultivation climbed, and climbed, and climbed. Heavenly stage level 9 venerable, Yaju shouted again. So let's do the math. I ate a fruit, got knocked unconscious by a fox girl's bedroom eyes, spent 1,000 years getting electrocuted in my dreams, and woke up to 10 women sitting in a circle around me like I was a deity they were summoning. And I'm still not done breaking through. This is the most productive nap in human history. Is he about to become a martial emperor? Shiqing gasped. I think so, Warner said, watching the spiritual energy still pouring into me like a broken fire hydrant. The thunder clouds aren't just from the purple thunder body. He's comprehending the Tao, Yue realized, staring at the apocalyptic sky outside. 2 weeks ago, he was a martial apprentice, the lowest of the low, and now he's becoming an emperor. Even these girls, who've seen everything, were losing their minds. Purple lightning erupted across my entire body and connected with the storm clouds above like I was a human lightning rod. 1,000 years of refining my thunder body, plus 1,000 years of supreme technique training, had made me 100% attuned to lightning. It wasn't attacking me anymore. It was part of me, like an extra limb made of pure electricity. To become a martial emperor, you need to condense a divine ability from the energy of heaven and earth. And mine. After a millennium of being best friends with lightning, a column of blinding purple light slammed down from the sky directly onto me. Hubby, 10 voices screamed. But I wasn't scared. I was excited. I stood up, walked into the light, and let it merge with me completely. Heaven and earth as my furnace. Lightning as my weapon. Martial Emperor divine ability, thunder judgment. My cultivation exploded past venerable. Yellow stage level 1, Martial Emperor. He did it. 10 holy maidens went absolutely ballistic with joy. Jumping, screaming, hugging each other, hugging me. Let me put this in perspective. Martial Emperor isn't just the next level. It's a completely different dimension of power. Emperors don't just cultivate energy anymore. They comprehend the laws of the universe itself. Lifespan jumps from 5,000 to 30,000 years. Every move carries the weight of cosmic rules. Only a handful of martial emperors exist in the entire empire. Having one makes your organization a dynasty-level power. I walked out of the light pillar, and I felt different. My bones, my skin, my very presence had changed. I'd shed my mortality like a snake shedding skin. Yaju launched herself at me like a happy missile and landed in my arms. Hubby, you're stronger than all of us now. From now on you protect US from bad guys? I nodded shyly. Because yeah, everything I have came from the Dream Pearl, but without these 10 girls, I'd have died at chapter 28. They deserved everything I could give them. I clenched my fists. The power inside me was ridiculous. Those cloud elephant elders who almost killed me yesterday, right now they'd be like insects. I could flick them out of existence. Hubby, Yue said, looking north with a cold smile. Now that you've leveled up, shouldn't we go pay someone a visit? I followed her gaze. North, toward the Cloud Elephant Sect. I smiled. Let's go. Meanwhile, at the Cloud Elephant Sect, Yun Xiang was having the worst day of his life. His face was purple with rage. His entire body was shaking. In front of him, a few terrified disciples who'd escaped the massacre were kneeling on the ground, delivering the news. You're telling me, 10 holy maidens and that brat killed Yun Feng and all my enforcement elders? Why, yes, sir. We saw it with our own eyes. We only survived because we were too weak for the holy maidens to bother killing. This is too much. Do those holy lands think they can just murder my people? He was so furious he kicked the messenger disciples into the ground. literally stomped them into the floor with his heavenly stage venerable power. They coughed blood and died. He murdered his own disciples because he was mad. Really healthy leadership style there, buddy. Once those holy maidens leave, I will personally kill Xia Feng. He kept stomping. The floor cratered. The poor disciples turned into, let's just say they weren't recognizable anymore. The 5 northern holy sons promised to keep the holy maidens away. Why didn't they? He was pacing, fuming, trying to figure out who to blame. When, you want to kill me? No need to wait. I came to you. The sky above his sect cracked open. A young man stepped through the torn fabric of space itself, smiling casually, with 10 devastatingly beautiful women floating behind him. Yun Xiang's brain short-circuited. You're Xia Feng, he squinted. 10 holy maidens behind him. That matches the description. But the intel said Xia Feng was a low-level venerable. This guy just ripped through space to get here. Only emperors can do that. No, wait. Senior, who are you? I let my smile widen just a little bit more. 2 weeks ago, I was a trash-tier martial apprentice who got dumped at his own engagement party. Today, I tore open the sky, walked into my enemy's headquarters, and he's calling me Senior, because he literally cannot comprehend that the trash he swore to kill just showed up as a martial emperor. Life comes at you fast, Yin Xiang. Real fast. We ripped through space and appeared right above the cloud elephant sect. Me in front, 10 gorgeous women behind me, like the world's most terrifying boy band. Down below, Yin Xiang was standing in a crater surrounded by the paste that used to be his own disciples. Classy guy. Really great boss energy. He looked up at me, and I could literally see his brain buffering. You want to kill me? I smiled. Well, here I am. Go ahead. He did not go ahead. Instead, he started nervously rubbing his hands together like a used car salesman. Senior. Haha. You're joking, right? Who are you really? Is Xiao Feng your student? Because if he is, just say so. We can work this out. I'll apologize. I'll compensate. My brother was an idiot anyway. This man spent the last hour stomping his own disciples into paste and screaming, I'll kill Xia Feng. And now he's out here smiling and bowing because a martial emperor showed up. The spine on this guy. 0. Absolute 0 spine. I can't be my own master, I said. He blinked. Processing. Error 404. You sent people to kill me. I continued, floating down slowly. Your brother ambushed me at my home. I paused, turned around, looked at 10 holy maidens. What do I call them? Holy maidens. Sounds too formal, and they'd get mad. Wives is. I haven't mentally committed to that yet. My mouth literally could not form either word. If we, his wives, hadn't arrived in time, they would have succeeded. Yaju stepped forward and finished my sentence for me. Because of course she did. Main wife privileges apparently include being my spokesperson. Yeah, you dared touch my man, Lingxian added. All 10 girls backed me up with maximum hostility. I turned back to Yin Xiang. So no, I'm not here to negotiate. My family was almost wiped out. Mom and Dad were nearly killed. My guards died. This wasn't just a feud, this was attempted genocide. No amount of spirit stones fixes that. You can't be Xiao Feng. Yin Xiang was sweating buckets. He was an Earth stage venerable 3 days ago. Nobody goes from venerable to emperor in 3 days. That's impossible. Senior, please stop joking. I was already in front of him. Cloud Mountain Hand. I used the signature technique of his dead brother's dead sect. Poetic, right? 2 massive palm strikes, each one radiating power that made Yun Shan's version look like a toddler slapping a pillow. The 2 strongest elders standing beside Yin Xiang, both Earth Stage Level 9 venerables, got swatted away like flies. Bodies shattered, true spirits shredded by the shockwave, dead before they hit the ground. 2 palm strikes, 2 top-tier venerables. Gone. Everyone in the sect felt it. From the Grandmaster elders to the junior disciples sweeping floors, every single person froze. Pure, primal terror. Cloud Mountain Hand. Yin Xiang's face went white as paper. You really are Xia Feng. Because he figured it out. No established emperor would bother learning a mid-tier sect's technique. Only someone who just picked it up from the Cloud Mountain sect's ruins would use it. Which meant I really was the same kid from 3 days ago. How? How can you possibly break through to emperor in 3 days? I've been stuck for hundreds of years. Oh, there it was. Not fear anymore, jealousy. Pure, ugly, soul-rotting jealousy. Centuries of failed breakthroughs. and some 20-year-old kid in a small city just casually leapfrogged him in less time than it takes to finish a good book. Does it matter? I said flatly. You're about to die anyway. Then his brain did that desperate thing where it grabs onto any comforting lie it can find. Wait, I figured it out. You're using some secret technique to fake your power level. Your real cultivation is probably just heavenly stage venerable at best. It's all an illusion. The holy maidens gave you some forbidden method. He actually convinced himself. His terrified face morphed into a confident smirk. You think wrapping yourself in a tiger's skin makes you a tiger? You came here to die, Xiaofeng. I'll show you what real power looks like. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. The man just watched me one-shot two of his strongest fighters, and his coping mechanism is, it's fake. If you think it's fake, I said, come find out. Gladly, he exploded forward like a cannonball, full power, maximum rage, all his centuries of cultivation unleashed. Straight at me. The guy who just ripped through space to get here. The guy whose casual palm strike erased two elite venerables from existence. The guy who became a martial emperor in 3 days. Yun Xiang chose violence. And violence was about to choose him right back. Yun Xiang came at me with everything he had. Fists, kicks, palms, axes, the whole buffet of violence. I just stood there, blocking, dodging, casually deflecting everything like I was swatting mosquitoes at a picnic. See, here's the thing nobody tells you about becoming a martial emperor overnight. You have no idea how strong you actually are. It's like waking up in someone else's body, except that body can punch through mountains. I needed to calibrate, test the limits, feel out what this new power could do. So yeah, I was using Yun Xiang, the terrifying sect master of a top-tier organization, as my personal training dummy. Are you mocking me? He screamed after his 20th failed attack. You're kinda weak, I said, frowning. Did you skip breakfast? Is this really all a heavenly stage venerable can do? His face went the color of a tomato on fire. He was still convinced I was faking my emperor status with some temporary power-up. In his head, there was absolutely no way I was real. His logic went something like, he can't be an emperor. He's just a half-step emperor at best. He's only dodging because he's afraid to use too much fake power. If I push harder, he'll crack, buddy. I literally tore open space to get here. What part of that screams fake to you? But he'd committed to the delusion, and honestly, it made him braver, which made him a better training partner. So I let him cook. Then he went nuclear. Secret technique. Dark blood demon explosion. He bit through his own tongue, sprayed black blood everywhere. Seriously, so gross. And the blood swirled around him like a demonic tornado. His face morphed into this horrifying green-skinned demon with fangs. His power shot up 7 or 8 times. Half-step martial emperor. Ha. He was admiring his own arms like a bodybuilder in a mirror. Now we're equal, Xiaofeng. I sacrificed 500 years of my life for this power. You should feel honored. I clapped. Actually applauded him. Half-step emperor. Now that's more like it. This is actually useful. His smile froze. The man just burned 5 centuries of lifespan to power up, and I treated it like he'd finally learned to tie his shoes. I'll kill you. He launched at me with earth-shattering force. His axe came down with enough power to split the mountain his sect was built on. Junior disciples below were literally coughing blood just from the pressure of his swing. Down on the ground, Sia looked up and yelled, "Hubby, stop hogging all the fun. We're starting too." "Go ahead," I called back. The 10 holy maidens turned toward the 8 remaining cloud elephant elders. "We have 3 earth stage venerables and 5 mystic stage venerables," one elder shouted. "You 10 are just yellow stage. You think you can beat us?" The girls didn't even bother responding. They just attacked. Yellow stage? Sure. But these are holy maiden yellow stages. Cross-realm combat is literally their entire brand. So there we were, me fighting the demon-faced sect master in the sky, 10 holy maidens shredding 8 elders on the ground, and the entire cloud elephant sect turning into the world's most explosive battlefield. Meanwhile, I was having a great time. Yin Xiang's expression kept getting weirder and weirder. His temporary power-up should have made me run out of steam in minutes. But we'd been fighting for almost 15 minutes now, and I was fine. Better than fine. Actually, I'd started hitting back, using Cloud Mountain sect techniques, testing them in real combat. Punch, block, counter, dodge, Every move from the dream world was clicking into place beautifully. Then I saw it on his face, the moment he realized. He wasn't testing me. I was testing him. He was my sparring partner. My practice mode. My tutorial level. Yep, I thought to myself. Nothing beats live combat for mastering new techniques. Every dream-learned move was now fully battle-tested and integrated, which meant I didn't need my training dummy anymore. My eyes went cold. I raised my right hand. Spiritual energy from the entire region screamed toward my palm. Martial Emperor Divine Ability, Thunder Judgment. The sky went dark. Instantly, noon turned to midnight. Black clouds spiraled overhead like a hurricane made of pure rage. Lightning thrashed inside them, each bolt thick enough to level a building. Yin Xiang's demon face went pale, because this was something no secret technique could fake. Divine abilities only exist if you've truly broken through to Emperor. No shortcut, no illusion, no half-step version. Either you have it or you don't. And I had it. No, this is real. Every ounce of arrogance, every scrap of denial, evaporated from his body in 1 second. He wasn't angry anymore. He was terrified. He ran. The most powerful man in the Cloud Elephant sect, the heavenly stage venerable who'd terrorized this region for centuries, turned around and sprinted like a scared rabbit. Running now? Too late. I swung my arm down. Thunder Judgment. An 8-foot-wide bolt of divine lightning erupted from the clouds and chased him across the sky. He pushed his speed to absolute maximum, burning more lifespan just to run faster. But you can't outrun lightning. No. The bolt hit him. The explosion shook the entire earth. The small mountain peak where he'd been standing 1 second ago was just gone, flattened into a crater. Yun Xiang was swallowed by infinite thunder. Every molecule of his existence scoured away. No body, no true spirit, no comeback. I floated there in the aftermath, wind whipping my torn sleeves, lightning still crackling across my fingertips. 2 weeks ago, this guy's little brother was enough to threaten my entire family. Today, I erased the big brother with one move and used him as a warm-up first. Napping. It's one hell of a training method. And just like that, Yun Xiang, 300-year tyrant, master of a top-tier sect, the biggest bully in the region, was gone. Erased. Not even a hair left. His true spirit got vaporized along with everything else. I floated back down to the Cloud Elephant sect. The 8 remaining elders? 6 were already dead, true spirits and all. 2 had run so far they were probably in a different country by now. 10,000 disciples were sitting on the ground looking like their entire world had ended. Which, technically, it had. And my 10 girls? Not a scratch. Not one. They'd just fought 8 venerables, some of them Earth Stage Level 9, and came out looking like they'd been on a spa day. All done, hubby, Warner said sweetly, and the other 9 chirped along like a choir of adorable angels who had just committed mass violence. Good work, ladies. Then Yaju's eyes went full treasure goblin mode. Hubby, now that the sect is destroyed, everything in their vaults is OURS. Let's go shopping. My eyes lit up too. Cloud Mountain sect was a mid-tier operation, and their loot was already incredible. This was a top-tier sect. Their treasury would be like comparing a piggy bank to Fort Knox. We spent the next hour ransacking the place from top to bottom. Every vault, every storage room, every hidden compartment. We were like the world's most beautiful team of burglars. Spirit stones, spirit crystals, rare herbs, weapons, manuals. We took everything. Even stuff that wasn't nailed down. Especially stuff that wasn't nailed down. The disciples? I'm not a psycho. They were just regular people who joined a sect for training. I waved my hand and shooed them all off the mountain. Go home. Find a new hobby. Maybe pick a sect whose leader doesn't murder his own messengers next time. Back at the mansion, I dumped a fraction of the loot into our family treasury. Dad walked in, looked around, and his jaw literally dropped. Son, you. What? What's that mountain of shiny stuff? All supreme spirit crystals. And those? 500-year-old spirit herbs. He kept walking and looking, each new pile breaking his brain a little more. Finally, he turned around, narrowed his eyes, and asked, Did you rob a top-tier sect? Yep. How did you know? Dad's mouth twitched. He wanted to say something about how he's a worldly man who's seen things, but instead he just waved his hand casually and said, Lucky guess. Sure, Dad. Lucky guess. I grabbed the storage rings with the techniques and headed straight to Sia's room. No hesitation this time. No awkward standing at the door. No existential crisis about visiting a girl's bedroom at night. First time going to a beautiful woman's room? Embarrassing. Second time? Totally natural. Turns out that barrier only exists once. Sia was delighted. She pulled me onto the bed with those soft white hands and smiled. Ready, hubby? Let's go. I closed my eyes. Her fragrance was doing things to my brain, but I stayed focused. Priorities. Training first. Being a responsible adult later. Maybe. Because the real prize from the Cloud Elephant sect wasn't the spirit stones or herbs. It was a book I found in their deepest vault, Supreme Absolute Martial Art, Cloud Elephant Heavenly Might Slash. This was the same technique Yin Feng used against me, the homing sword attack that almost killed me. Except now I had the original, complete version. And it was classified as a Supreme Absolute Martial Art, the kind of technique that even martial emperors would kill to learn. Most emperors don't even have emperor-grade techniques. They make do with Supreme Absolute Arts instead, and I just found one in a venerable level sect's basement. Lucky me. Dream World activated. The Supreme Technique's golden light did something incredible. It wrapped around the Cloud Elephant manual and converted it into Dao Sound lectures, feeding the knowledge directly into my brain. It can help me learn other techniques too. This Supreme Technique is absolutely insane. Seriously, this cultivation method teaches itself, grows with me, and tutors me on other martial arts. Whatever ancient god created this thing deserves a Nobel Prize. In the dream, a vast empty world stretched before me. High above, an enormous mythical bird, a great rock, soared through the heavens, wings spanning thousands of miles. Every wing beat created massive air currents. I watched those currents. For years, decades, centuries. At first, they looked harmless. Just wind. But after 100 years of staring, I noticed the currents were stacking, layering on top of each other, building pressure, until they transformed into invisible wind blades so sharp they could cut through anything. And then, after watching long enough, I saw a figure appear in the sky. A person holding a long saber, swinging it horizontally across the heavens. All those accumulated wind blades condensed into one strike. That was the secret. Accumulation. Patience. 1,000 tiny things combining into one unstoppable force. I stood up. A saber materialized in my hand. I swung, and swung, and swung. 10 years. 100. 500. Another 1,000 years of nothing but swinging a saber at the sky. By the time I stopped, my dream body's clothes were in tatters, and the flesh on my hands had been ground away to bare bone. 1,000 years of nonstop saber practice. No breaks. No sleep. No complaining. Okay, maybe a little complaining. In my head. But it was done. The Cloud Elephant Heavenly Might Slash, fully mastered. The same technique that almost killed me was now mine. And in my hands, powered by actual emperor-level cultivation instead of a venerables, it would be incomparably stronger. Time to wake up. I looked up at the dream sky one last time, smiled, and let the world dissolve. So to keep my running total, Dream Session 1, mastered the bull technique. Took 1,000 years. Dream Session 2, learned dozens of combat techniques. Took 1,000 years. Dream Session 3, transformed my body into a purple thunder body and broke through to Emperor. Took 1,000 years. Dream Session 4, mastered a supreme absolute martial art by swinging a saber until my hands were literally skeletal. Took 1,000 years. Total dream time, for 1,000 years. Total real time, about 12 hours. Total naps, 4. I am 4,000 years old in experience, and probably 18 in reality. I rob top-tier sex before breakfast and get tucked into bed by a fox goddess every night. This is the life. Next morning, birds chirping, sun shining. 10 beautiful women giggling outside my door like schoolgirls at a sleepover. The door burst open before I could even reach for the handle. 10 holy maidens stood there looking like they'd just walked off a celestial fashion runway. Yaju was in front wearing a gorgeous green dress that fit her like it was painted on. The other 9 had also put on their absolute best outfits. Makeup flawless, hair perfect. They looked like 9 goddesses who'd been getting ready since 3 a.m. What's happening? Hubby, Yaju beamed. We destroyed the Cloud Elephant sect. Our dowries are delivered. and today is an auspicious day. Let's set a wedding date. Wedding date. They wanted to lock this down right now. So that's why they dressed up. 10 women coordinated a surprise marriage ambush on me before breakfast. I've fought martial venerables with less strategic planning than this. I looked at them. All 10. Each one impossibly beautiful. Each one willing to fight armies, cross continents, and steal from their own masters just to be with me. My face turned red. I mean, I'm a normal guy. Saying I don't want this would be the biggest lie in the history of lies. But it felt so fast. They remember 1,000 years of shared dreams. I remember nothing. To them, we're soulmates reuniting. To me, 10 supermodels showed up last week and started calling me husband. I feel like I'm getting the deal of 10 lifetimes and somehow not paying for it. So, wedding date? Yes. And remember, I'm the main wife. Everyone agreed. Yaju's little head bobbed up and down like an excited puppy. Okay, let's do it. I said it. I actually said it. 10 faces lit up like fireworks. The room erupted in giggles and happy squeals, and then the sky exploded with terrifying energy. Multiple signatures. Insanely powerful. Heading straight for Star Language City. The girls' smiles vanished instantly. Dad had been sitting in the courtyard pavilion, watching the girls nervously primp and giggle their way to my room, smiling to himself like a proud father watching his son's love story unfold. He was probably composing his father of the groom speech in his head. Then a furious male voice boomed from the sky. Xiaoxian, you are the holy maiden of the blazing fire holy land. And you want to marry this backwoods nobody? Disgraceful. Come home immediately. Oh no. Then a woman's voice, dripping with disappointment. Wanner, come back to the sect with your master. Do you have any idea what people are saying about you? Oh no. Lingxian and Wanner looked at each other. Their faces went from wedding planning to parent-teacher conference in 0 seconds flat. Because flying toward us were not random enemies. These were the Holy Land Masters, the bosses, the ultimate authorities of each Holy Land. The Blazing Fire Holy Land Master, Zhang Wenxiu. The Demonic Sound Holy Land Master, Huang Shiying. And they kept coming. See ya, you naughty girl, running off for a boy? If Mingxian hadn't told me, I wouldn't even know. A stunning woman in a purple qipao descended from the sky. The Celestial Fox Holy Land Master, Madame Yu. She had an actual fox tail trailing behind her dress. My family guards glanced up at her and immediately went slack-jawed, eyes glazed, breathing heavy. One look and they were completely charmed. If she'd told them to jump off a cliff, they'd have asked, which one? That is what a master-level fox charmer looks like. Sia's powers suddenly made a lot more sense. So this is the boy. The Extreme Ice Holy Land Master, Fong Moli, floated next to Madame Yu, looking thoroughly unimpressed. Handsome guy, mid-30s, ice blue robes, zero enthusiasm. Nothing special. Oh, come on, old Fong, chuckled the Celestial Pill Holy Land Master, Yao Juechen, stroking his white goatee. A martial emperor at his age? When you were his age, you were just a venerable. So what if he's an emperor? Fong Moli replied coldly. Talented people die young all the time. Having talent and staying alive are two different things. That felt ominous, like he knew something. Crack. A bolt of lightning struck and the Purple Thunder Holy Land Master appeared, Chen Zhoming. Purple robes, domineering aura, said nothing. Just stared at me with the warmth of a glacier. Then the Celestial Sword Holy Land Master showed up, Li Shaoqing, with 9 swords strapped to his back, clutching a wine gourd, and swaying like he'd been drinking since last Tuesday. Hey, girlie, come back. Come practice sword stuff. Too young to marry, he belched. Loudly, Li Qingxue, the sword maiden, looked like she wanted the earth to swallow her. This was her master, the leader of one of the most prestigious holy lands in the empire. And he was stumbling around like a drunk uncle at a family barbecue. Then he spotted the Tyrant Saber Holy Land Master, Lu Hong, and immediately leaned on him like a human pillow. Lu Hong's face twisted in disgust. He teleported away. Li Shaoqing teleported with him. He moved again. Li Shaoqing followed. Like a drunk, heat-seeking missile. Li Shaoqing, get the hell off me or I will cut you in half. Aw, buddy. It's been years. We used to be so close. Here, drink with me. Let's get wasted. Xuezhi. We're leaving. Now. Lu Hong screamed at his holy maiden while desperately trying to shake off his clingy drunk colleague. So, Let me paint this picture. 10 Holy Land Masters, the most powerful people on the continent, just showed up at my tiny city mansion. One is furious. One is disappointed. One can mind control people by existing. One thinks I'm going to die young. One is silently terrifying. One is a belligerent drunk using another one as a body pillow while that one screams profanity. And all of them want to take my fiancés home. 5 minutes ago, I was agreeing to a wedding. Now I'm facing 10 in-laws from hell. This is fine. Everything is fine. Then the last two showed up. The Life Holy Land Master, Song Chanqian. Tall, elegant, radiating this calm life energy that made you feel peaceful. Until she opened her mouth. Leave him. This person carries misfortune. Misfortune? Lady, I'm a martial emperor at 23. How is that misfortune? And next to her, the celestial talisman Holy Land Master, Zhao Shuahua, who looked like a teenager. Baby face, sleepy eyes, yawning like she'd just been woken up from a nap. But apparently this teenager was over 50,000 years old. Scariest toddler in existence. Come home, little sure outside is no fun, she mumbled sleepily, rubbing her eyes like a kid on a school morning. 10 Holy Land Masters. All here. At my house. On what was supposed to be my wedding day. The girls looked at the sky. Looked at me. Looked at each other. Some were angry. Some were heartbroken. Some looked like they were about to riot. Yaju and Shiqing couldn't hold it together. They grabbed onto me from both sides and started crying. Hubby, we don't want to leave you. If they take us back, we'll never get out again. Their tears hit me harder than any martial venerable's attack ever had. I looked up at the 10 most powerful people on the continent and tried to speak. Respected seniors, I am Xiaofeng, and these holy maidens and I, shut up. Nobody asked you to speak. That was Qin Zhoming, the Purple Thunder Holy Land Master. He'd been staring at me in silence this whole time, and apparently he'd decided that silence was over. His aura exploded outward and covered the entire city. Every person below venerable level couldn't breathe. Their legs buckled. They dropped to their knees, shaking uncontrollably. My mom and dad almost collapsed. Sia and Warner barely shielded them in time. Then he focused his pressure directly on me. It felt like the sky itself was sitting on my shoulders. I clenched my fists so hard my knuckles went white. Veins popped out on my forehead. The stone tiles under my feet shattered. This wasn't even an attack. This was just his aura, his passive energy leak. And it was almost crushing me. I looked up at the other 9 masters. Not one of them stepped in. Some watched with blank faces. Some looked mildly entertained, like watching a bug struggle under a glass. Not bad, the drunk sword master commented between swigs. A yellow stage emperor resisting old Qin's pressure? Kid's got backbone. Pointless, the life master said coldly. He carries misfortune. He won't live long enough to grow. What the hell does that mean? She keeps saying that. What misfortune? No. Stop. Yue, my purple thunder girl, ran to my side and threw up her own protective barrier to help me resist. She was terrified. Genuinely terrified. She knew her master's personality. The man killed people the way normal people swat flies. If you want to kill him, kill me too. Qin Zhoming's eyes narrowed. His words stayed harsh, but I noticed. His pressure got lighter. He was scared of hurting her. Get over here. You've known him for days, and you're already siding with him over your own sect. Not unless you promise you won't hurt him. She was standing next to me, tears streaming, shaking, but absolutely refusing to move. This girl was bargaining with a man who could destroy cities with a thought, for me. He finally snorted, waved his hand, and the pressure vanished. I gasped for air. You should thank Yue, boy. She just saved your worthless life. He grabbed Yue and prepared to rip open space to leave. She leaned close to my ear. Her voice was barely a whisper. Wait for me, hubby. I'll come back. Then she was gone. Standing beside her master in the sky, head down, silent. One by one, the other 9 masters stared at their holy maidens. The message was clear. Party's over. Come home now. 9 girls floated up to their masters. Every single one looked back at me with the same expression. The same unspoken promise. Wait for us. Something cracked inside my chest. Not a bone. Something deeper. Watching them leave, these women who'd fought for me, bled for me, cried for me, and being completely powerless to stop it, that feeling was worse than any attack I'd ever taken. I became a martial emperor at 23. I screamed at the sky, my whole body trembling. From apprentice to emperor in 1 month. And that's still not good enough for your holy maidens. A few masters paused. 1 month to emperor? The demonic sound master raised an eyebrow. That's actually quite monstrous talent. Could he have awakened the innate emperor body? Like that person, the blazing fire master muttered, a flash of surprise in his eyes. But Chen Zhongming just snorted. Even with an emperor body, if he dies before growing up, he's still trash. And with that, he tore open space and disappeared with Yue. One by one, the others followed. 10 streaks of light. 10 holy maidens taken away. And then silence. I stood in my shattered courtyard, fists bleeding from how hard I'd been clenching, chest heaving, staring at the empty sky. 5 minutes ago, I was agreeing to a wedding. Now I was alone. They keep saying I carry misfortune. They keep saying I'll die before growing up. They know something I don't. But here's what I know. Those 10 girls chose me. They crossed continents, fought armies, stole from their masters, and cried when they had to leave. And I let them get taken away because I was too weak. Not again. Never again. The other masters glanced at me with mixed expressions, some surprised, some pitying. The talisman master, the baby-faced 50,000-year-old, actually looked sad, like she was watching a puppy about to get hit by a cart. They were all turning to leave when I took the deepest breath of my entire life. Ichiwai, every single one of them paused. I don't care if you don't approve of me right now. I'm marrying all 10 of them, my voice cracked. I didn't care. Maybe I'm not strong enough today, but give me time. I will make you all eat your words. I was screaming at 10 people who could individually flatten my entire city. Absolutely insane behavior. Zero survival instinct. Maximum boyfriend energy. And you? I pointed at the 10 girls being dragged away, tears burning in my eyes. Next time, I'm not waiting for you to come find me. I'm coming to your holy lands myself, with wedding gifts. And I'm taking you home. All 10 of you. Chen Zhongming, Mr. Purple Thunder Anger Issues, looked back at me like I was the dumbest creature he'd ever seen. Delusional fool. Then he vanished into torn space, dragging a red-eyed Yue with him. The drunk sword master shook his head sadly. Kid, survive what's coming first. Then we'll talk. He grabbed Qingxue and streaked away as a beam of light. Madam, you stroked Sia's hair and sighed. The boy is interesting, dear, but love doesn't guarantee a happy ending. Go talk to Mingxian when we get back. He's the one meant for you. Who the hell is Mingxian? Some holy son they've got picked out. Over my dead, and they were gone. One by one. 10 streaks of light. 10 stolen brides. Until the sky was empty. The mansion went from wedding celebration to funeral silence in 60 seconds. Cold. Quiet. Lonely. I could still smell their perfume in the air. Still feel where Yaju and Shiqing had grabbed my arms. Still hear Yue's whisper. Wait for me. Damn it. I slammed my fist into the ground. Then again. And again. The stone shattered. My knuckles bled. I didn't care. I hated myself. Hated my weakness. If I were a martial saint, this wouldn't have happened. None of them would have been taken. I would have looked every single one of those masters in the eye and said, try me. But I couldn't. Because I was a baby emperor, barely born into this realm, standing in front of 10 saints who treated me like a speck of dust. Son, Mom and Dad walked over. I quickly wiped my eyes. Can't cry in front of your parents. Gotta be strong. I'm fine. I promise I'll bring them back. Every single one. We believe you, son. They both nodded. They knew me. When I set a goal, I don't stop. Even if the road leads through hell. But then Dad's expression changed. Got heavy. Old. He sat down against the wall and sighed like a man carrying a mountain. Son, there's something we need to tell you. Mom looked the same way. Both of them had aged 10 years in the last 10 minutes. And it wasn't just because of the holy maidens leaving. That word, misfortune, the life master used. Dad laughed bitterly. They weren't going to leave us alone. They never were. What? Dad? What are you talking about? You asked before if our family had some secret background. You were right. He paused. Took a shaky breath. Son, you were supposed to be the next ruler of the Great Xia Empire. I'm sorry, what? My eyes went so wide they nearly fell out of my skull. Emperor? Me? The guy who was called trash at his own engagement party 2 weeks ago was supposed to be an emperor? If we'd actually had that wedding, I would have assumed Dad was drunk. But no wedding happened, no alcohol was consumed, and Dad looked dead serious. Your grandfather, Xia Tianming, was the previous imperial crown prince. He had the innate emperor body, the most monstrous talent in existence. The throne was basically gift-wrapped for him, but Grandpa didn't want it. He just wanted to train and cultivate. Couldn't care less about politics. So your great-grandfather, the old emperor, gave the throne to Grandpa's half-brother instead, Xia Donghai. Grandpa didn't mind. He was happy being left alone. But Xia Donghai, that snake, wasn't satisfied with just getting the throne. When great-grandpa went into closed-door cultivation, Donghai made his move. He lured Grandpa to the palace with some fake national business meeting and had 10 heavenly stage martial saints waiting to ambush him. Grandpa fought like a demon, killed 8 of them, 1 against 10, and he killed 8. But they eventually overpowered him, sealed his cultivation, and then Donghai used some kind of evil forbidden technique to RIP Grandpa's innate emperor body right out of him. Grandpa screamed for 3 days and 3 nights. The entire palace heard it. Nobody slept. Nobody could sleep. It was the sound of a god being torn apart. When great-grandpa came out of cultivation and found out, he did nothing. Nothing. Grandpa's cultivation was ruined. Donghai now had the emperor body. So great-grandpa made the practical choice, gave Grandpa a fancy title, Battle Heaven Emperor, shipped him off to the northern border, and let him build a small dynasty there. Family, right? Heartwarming stuff. But Donghai wasn't finished. Because snakes don't stop biting. 10 years later, when great-grandpa went into cultivation again, Donghai accused Grandpa of treason, conspiring with a foreign empire, and sent the empire's 10 greatest generals to destroy Grandpa's entire dynasty. So my grandfather had his body ripped apart, his power stolen, got exiled, and then got hunted down for a crime he didn't commit. By his own brother. I sat there in the rubble of my courtyard, bloody knuckles, tear-stained face, processing the fact that my family isn't just city lords of a small town. We're fallen royalty, survivors of a genocide, targeted by the current emperor of the most powerful nation on the continent. And that misfortune, the life master mentioned, it's not some mystical curse. It's the emperor of the great Xia Empire, who wants every last one of us dead. Cool. Cool. So to summarize my day, woke up planning a wedding, got dumped by 10 in-laws from hell, found out I'm secretly royalty, learned my grandpa got his superpowers surgically stolen by his own brother, and discovered that the most powerful man in the world wants to erase my bloodline. And it's not even lunchtime. Your grandfather's last shred of cultivation was destroyed too. He couldn't even hold a sword anymore. Just a normal person. Dad's voice cracked. His whole body was shaking. After the dynasty fell, they chased us out like stray dogs. Dumped us in Star Language City, the most remote, forgotten armpit of the entire eastern province. Your grandpa was city lord for 3 years. But every single day, he was miserable. Broken body, broken spirit, no will to live. Dad paused. It's been 25 years since he passed. There used to be spies here, watching us for the emperor. After Grandpa died, even the spies left. I guess a dead man's family wasn't worth monitoring anymore. He looked at me with the saddest smile I'd ever seen. You always asked if our family had some special background. Well, we do. But it's not the kind that helps you, son. It's the kind that gets you killed. Your mom and I never wanted to tell you. We just wanted you to grow up safe, find a nice wife, live a quiet life. But things didn't exactly go according to plan. Yeah. Understatement of the century, Dad. 10 holy maidens showed up. I became an emperor in a month, and now the ruler of the entire nation wants me dead. Didn't go according to plan is aggressive understatement. I sat there in silence. My brain was full, like physically full. There was too much information trying to fit through one door. I'm the grandson of the former crown prince. My grandpa had the most broken body type in existence, the innate emperor body, and his own half-brother ripped it out of him with dark magic. 3 days of screaming. Nobody in the palace slept. And the old emperor, my great-grandfather, found out about all this and did absolutely nothing. Gave Grandpa a fancy title like a participation trophy and shipped him off to the boondocks. Family reunions must be fun. Dad, is that why the 10 Holy Land Masters came? Because of our family history? His jaw tightened. Has to be. Your name plus 10 holy maidens? That's a signal flare to the entire empire. A grandson of Xia Tianming, being chased by 10 top-tier holy maidens? That's the kind of news that reaches the palace before lunch. The current emperor, Xia Donghai, He was content to ignore us as long as we stayed invisible. But you, son, you shot up like a comet. You're impossible to ignore now. That explained everything. The Holy Land Masters didn't take my girls away because they thought I was unworthy. They took them because being associated with me is basically painting a target on your back. The Emperor of the Great Xia Empire, a martial emperor-level existence or higher, has a blood grudge against my family, and anyone standing next to us could get caught in the crossfire. They weren't being snobs. They were being smart. Mom grabbed me and started sobbing. It's my fault. I should have turned those girls away the moment they arrived. If the news hadn't spread, the palace would never have noticed us. Mom. Dad. Stop. I stood up, wiped my face, and smiled. I'm a martial emperor now. Whatever comes, I can protect you. Son, you don't understand. That's the great Xia Empire. I know what it is. And I know that the man who murdered Grandpa is sitting on a stolen throne with a stolen body, and he still isn't satisfied. He wants us dead even now. I took a breath. We can't keep living like this. Hiding. Hoping. Praying that the guy who killed our family decides to forget about us. That's not living. That's waiting to die. Dad's eyes changed. Something sparked behind the fear. That bastard Xia Donghai, I said coldly. I'll make him understand. Karma doesn't forget. It just takes its time. Dad, they're going to come for us no matter what we do. So why should we sit here and wait for the axe to fall? I went from apprentice to emperor in 1 month. You think I'm going to stop here? Dad stared at me. And for the first time since he started telling this story, his expression wasn't fear or sadness. It was recognition. Like he was seeing someone he'd lost a long time ago. You sound just like your grandfather. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he let out the biggest exhale I'd ever heard. Fine. His eyes went clear. Sharp. The frightened old city lord was gone. In his place was the son of a fallen emperor, a man who'd buried his rage for 25 years and was finally letting it breathe. If my son has this kind of fire, then your grandfather's bloodline isn't dead yet. Follow me. There's something I need to show you. He marched forward without looking back. I followed. We walked into the mansion's library, a place I'd visited 1,000 times as a kid. Nothing special about it. Just books and scrolls and dust. Then Dad walked to the third bookshelf and started pressing specific books in a precise order. Third shelf, fifth book. Fifth shelf, sixth book. Second shelf, ninth book. Channeling spiritual energy into each one. Rumble. The entire room transformed. Bookshelves slid sideways like sliding doors. Behind them, hidden in the wall this entire time, was a narrow, person-sized secret passage. Dad walked in without a word. I followed. We walked through pitch-black darkness for about 100 meters before I saw a faint glow ahead. So apparently, underneath the house where I grew up, where I ate breakfast, practiced sword forms, and got called trash by my ex-fiancée, there's been a secret underground chamber this whole time. 23 years in this house, and I never knew. What else are you hiding, Dad? We walked into a dimly lit underground chamber. Flickering candles, fancy decorations, and on the walls, paintings. Paintings of a man fighting a dragon, leading armies against enemy generals, battling a sea serpent. Every single painting showed the same person, fierce, powerful, absolutely legendary. My grandfather, Xia Tianming. Beside the paintings were golden imperial scrolls. I read them one by one. Xia Tianming conquered 3 cities single-handedly, promoted to national protector. Imperial Crown Prince Xia Tianming broke through the enemy capital, promoted to Grand General. Each scroll was a reminder of something incredible Grandpa did for this empire. Wars won. Cities saved. Enemies crushed. The man was basically a one-person military. Then the last scroll. Xia Tianming is hereby granted the Battle Heaven Dynasty and the title of Battle Heaven Emperor. No mention of Imperial Crown Prince. No list of achievements. Just a name and a consolation prize. Like giving a war hero a gift card after stealing his house. Pretty ironic, huh? Dad said with a broken laugh. I couldn't speak. My throat was too tight. Dad walked to the center of the room. On a pedestal sat a small wooden box made of dark sandalwood. He placed his hand on it and rubbed it gently, like it was the most precious thing in the world. When the dynasty fell, Donghai's people looted everything. The vaults, the weapons, the treasures, all gone. This was the only thing your grandfather managed to save. He opened the box. Golden light spilled out. Inside was a single martial arts manual. This is the 9-aperture exquisite heart scripture, an emperor-grade technique. In the entire Great Xia Empire, only members of the imperial bloodline can cultivate it. Emperor-grade. Emperor. Grade. There are people who'd burn down countries for a technique like this. Your grandfather spent his final year, coughing blood, barely alive, writing this from memory. He never said why, but I knew. Dad's voice cracked again. He was hoping that someday, someone in our bloodline would be talented enough to use it, to restore what we lost. I always thought it would be passed down for generations. Maybe a great-great-great-grandchild would finally be worthy. I never imagined, he looked at me, that it would be you. 1 generation later, I held the manual, Emperor-grade technique, written in a dying man's blood. I didn't feel excited. I felt like someone had taken my heart, squeezed it, and set it on fire. This wasn't just a book. This was my grandfather's last wish, written while he was dying alone in a nowhere city after having everything stolen from him by his own brother. We don't have much time, son. Start training this immediately. I nodded, took the book, said nothing. We left the secret room and I stood on the city wall, staring toward the direction of the imperial capital. My fists clenched on their own. The clock was ticking. Star Language City might be peaceful now, but a storm was coming. The emperor knew about me. It was only a matter of time. One thought consumed my entire brain. Get stronger. Stronger. Faster. Now. No more playing around. No more faking stomachaches and dodging marriage proposals. The emperor of the Great Xia Empire wants my family extinct. 10 holy maidens are locked away in their holy lands. And the only thing standing between everyone I love and total annihilation is me. That night, I entered the dream world. The Supreme Technique's golden light wrapped around the 9-aperture scripture and started translating it into comprehensible lessons, just like it did with every other technique. Have I mentioned how absolutely busted this Supreme Technique is? It's like having a personal tutor who's been alive since the beginning of time. And the 9-aperture scripture? Insane. Here's how it works. The technique has 9 levels. Each level creates a exquisite heart inside your body, basically an artificial dantian. And each extra heart lets you use 1 additional same-level technique simultaneously. Normal warriors can only use 1 technique at their cultivation level. Try to use 2 and your dantian cracks. 3 and it explodes. But with 9 exquisite hearts, I could eventually fire off 9 emperor-grade techniques at the same time. 9. Simultaneous. Emperor level. Attacks. That's not fighting. That's war crimes. Even at level 2, which is where I got after 1,000 dream years, I already had 2 extra hearts. Meaning I could use the Cloud Elephant Heavenly Might / plus 2 more techniques of the same tier, all boosted in power. Now I understood why the Imperial family was so terrifying. They're born with access to this technique. Every royal brat starts their cultivation journey with a cheat code that lets them fight 5-on-1 and win. No wonder they run the empire. I needed to catch up. Fast. I dug through the Cloud Elephant Sect loot for compatible techniques and found 2 gems. Heavenly Evolution, Sword of All Creation, Supreme Grade Sword Technique. Perfect for my Qingxue sword. Thunder Desolation Tyrant Star, Supreme Grade Lightning Technique. And guess who just spent 1,000 years converting to a purple thunder body? This guy? Lightning techniques now come with a natural damage boost. It's like I was built for this. Using an Emperor-grade support technique to boost Supreme-grade attacks. I laughed bitterly. What a waste. It was like putting rocket fuel in a Toyota. Ideally, the 9-aperture hearts should be powering Emperor-grade techniques. But I didn't have Emperor-grade attack techniques. So Supreme-grade would have to do for now. Can't be picky when the most powerful man alive wants you dead. Another 1,000 dream years. Another 3 real-world hours. I woke up at dawn, grabbed my Qingxue sword in one hand and a big saber from the Cloud Elephant loot in the other, and ran outside to an empty field to test my new arsenal. So here's where I stand. Fallen royalty, hunted by an emperor, armed with a dead grandfather's forbidden technique, 2 artificial hearts, 3 supreme-grade combat arts, and the ability to train for a millennium every time I take a nap. The Great Xia Empire has no idea what's coming, and honestly, neither do I. But I'm going to find out. No more distractions, no more wedding planning, no more holy maiden drama. Just training, training, and more training. My daily schedule became stupid simple. Wake up, practice dream-learn techniques in the real world to smooth out any weird disconnect between dream muscles and real muscles. Then go back to sleep and grind for another 1,000 years. Eat, sleep, cultivate, repeat. I was basically a cultivation machine that occasionally needed bathroom breaks. And it worked. After 1,800 dream years, I hit Earth stage Martial Emperor. Time for new divine abilities. Here's the thing about Emperors. Every time you advance a major stage, you get to create a new divine ability from the Tao of Heaven and Earth. Yellow stage gets 1. Mystic gets 2 total. Earth gets 3. Heavenly gets 4. I jumped from Yellow straight to Earth, which meant I got to create 2 new ones. Plus my original Thunder Judgment. 3 total. I sat down in the dream world and started thinking. My first ability was thunder-based because of my purple thunder body. For these 2 new ones, I went with, well, the 2 biggest things in existence. Heaven and Earth. 200 dream years of trial and error later, I had them. Heaven's execution. I pointed my Qingxue sword at the sky and a colossal phantom sword, a building-sized replica of my own blade, materialized in the heavens and came screaming down like the finger of an angry god. The pressure alone could flatten cities. Earth's annihilation. The ground beneath me erupted with dark energy that condensed into thousands of razor-sharp black blades. I pointed forward and they launched at a nearby mountain, a mountain that was 5,000 meters wide, and cut it clean in half like a hot knife through butter. The entire peak collapsed in a tsunami of dirt and debris. Thunder Judgment. Heaven's execution. Earth's annihilation. 3 divine abilities, each one a doomsday weapon. Plus my 9 aperture hearts boosting 3 supreme-grade combat techniques on top. I was feeling pretty good about myself. Then I checked my cultivation level. Earth stage level 3 Martial Emperor. After 2,000 dream years. That's IT? 2,000 years for 3 levels? I know. Most people spend 10,000 years just going from Mystic to Earth stage. Some never make it at all. But when you've been speedrunning cultivation realms in single naps, anything slower than instant feels like crawling through mud. I need more talent-boosting pills and fruits. Supreme talent isn't cutting it anymore. If any normal cultivator heard me complain about only advancing 3 Emperor levels in 2,000 years, they'd form a line to punch me in the face. And honestly, I deserve it. But I didn't have time to be reasonable. Because while I was sleeping, 9 terrifying auras were rocketing towards Star Language City at maximum speed. They came from the 3 great imperial dynasties that serve under the Xia Emperor, the Heaven Xia Dynasty, Earth Xia Dynasty, and Human Xia Dynasty. The Emperor's personal attack dogs. Leading the pack was a bald monk in a black and white robe. Except he wasn't a monk at all. He was built like a tank, covered in muscles, and swearing like a sailor. Ugh, the rebel bloodline is acting up again? This is cutting into my time with women. Classy. Real holy man energy there. Behind him, a young-looking guy yawned. The Heaven Emperor says just destroy the kids Dantian, but honestly, why bother? What if his descendants produce another genius, and we have to come back? Just kill them all. The Emperor body was already transplanted to His Majesty anyway. The bald monk, Ma Wuji, snapped at him. You want to disobey the Heaven Emperor's orders? He said cripple, not kill. There's a reason for that, and you don't need to understand it. Just follow orders. Fine, whatever, the young guy shrugged. His buddy with yellow hair patted his shoulder. Just listen to the boss. Then there was the Earth Dynasty's leader, a creepy old man wearing a necklace made of skulls, cackling like a horror movie villain. I heard the boy became a yellow stage emperor at 23 and destroyed the Cloud Elephant sect. What delightful talent. I'd love to add him to my collection. I don't know what collection means and I don't want to know. Control yourself, said the Human Dynasty's leader, a pale, feminine-looking man named Han Xiang. He comes from a bloodline that produced an imperial prince. Show some respect. Han Xiang's right, the bald monk said. I'm in charge. We go in, cripple the kid, get out. Nice and clean, the skull necklace grandpa and pale pretty boy nodded. Because in a world ruled by strength, the Earth Stage Level 1 Emperor Bald Monk outranked the 8 Mystic Stage Emperors behind him. 9 Martial Emperors. Coming for me. While I'm asleep. And here's the truly sick part. I finally understood why the Emperor didn't order them to kill us outright. He's farming us. Keep the bloodline alive. Let us breed. Wait for another descendant to develop the innate emperor body. Then rip it out of them, just like he did to Grandpa. We're not enemies to him. We're livestock. Raise the sheep. Wait for them to grow fat. Then slaughter them for their wool. That realization alone was enough to make my blood boil hot enough to melt steel. 9 emperors were flying toward my sleeping body, and I was stuck in a dream world, blissfully unaware, swinging swords at imaginary mountains. This was going to be a very interesting wake-up call. So here's some context on these clowns. The heaven, earth, and human dynasties are basically the rejects of the imperial family. Every direct descendant of the emperor gets their own dynasty, like participation trophies for being born royal. The closer your dynasty is to the capital, the more Daddy Emperor loves you. These 3, stationed in the most remote, pathetic corner of the northern province. Translation: nobody's favorite children. This mission was their big chance. Cripple the rebel bloodline's kid, impress the emperor, maybe get relocated somewhere with actual restaurants. They were so eager they sent their top 3 fighters from each dynasty, 9 martial emperors total, with the enthusiasm of desperate interns trying to get a promotion. We're here. The bald monk Ma Wuji licked his lips and grinned like a psycho. 9 blazing meteors of destruction slammed into the city around our mansion. The impact nearly collapsed the entire building. Ma Wuji screamed at the top of his lungs. "Xia foam. Get your ASS out here." His voice alone made half the city dizzy. Weaker cultivators straight up vomited blood. 9 emperors releasing their aura simultaneously. The entire population of Star Language City was on their knees, gasping for air, thinking the apocalypse had arrived. The city's other family heads were losing their minds. Who did the Xia family piss off this time? Must be Cloud Elephant sex survivors. They won't kill us too, right? We have nothing to do with this. Same energy as last time. These families really need to invest in a backbone. Dad burst into my room, panicking. "Son, 9 emperors. 9. We need to run." I scanned the sky casually. Let's see. 3 Mystic Stage Level 3, 2 Level 7, 3 Level 9, and 1 Earth Stage Level 1. That would be the bald guy. I looked back at Dad and smiled. Totally manageable. Manageable? That's 9 Martial Emperor. I was gone before he finished the sentence. Vanished. Just poof. Meanwhile, the 9 stooges were getting impatient. Where I asked this brat? Did he run? Skull Necklace Grandpa frowned. Impossible. We came the second the orders arrived. Who's faster than 9 emperors? Pale Pretty Boy said. Baldy Ma Wuji's face darkened. If he ran, I'm killing every single person in this city. Waste of my damn time. Nobody ran. I'm right here. All 9 of them froze. Then slowly turned around. There I was, floating behind them, smiling. I'd gotten behind 9 martial emperors without a single one of them noticing. When did he? Pale Pretty Boy's face went white. Ironic, considering he was already the palest person alive. Something's wrong. This kid is dangerous, Skull Grandpa shrieked. You came all this way, I said cheerfully. It'd be rude not to give you a welcome gift. My smile vanished. Divine ability, thunder judgment. Divine ability, heaven's execution. Divine ability, Earth's annihilation. 3. Simultaneous. Divine abilities. The sky went black with thunder clouds. A building-sized phantom of my Qingxue sword materialized overhead. The ground beneath us erupted into a sea of pitch-black death energy, condensing into thousands of razor blades. 3 apocalypses at once. Impossible. 3 divine abilities? He's an Earth Stage Emperor. Pale Pretty Boy screamed like he'd seen a ghost. Which, in about 3 seconds, he was going to become. The intel said Yellow Stage. Baldy roared. Scatter. Everyone scatter. Think you can run? I laughed. Little late for that. The giant phantom sword locked onto 1 Mystic Stage Level 3 Emperor from the Human Dynasty. Thunder Judgment hammered down on the 2nd Level 3 Emperor from the Human Dynasty. Both of them looked up at the sky, realized what was coming, and screamed, no. If these had been normal divine abilities, they might have survived with serious injuries. But my abilities? Powered by Earth Stage Emperor cultivation, amplified by the Supreme Technique, refined over 2,000 dream years? These were death sentences with special effects. Both Human Dynasty Emperors were erased on contact. Done. Finished. Not even true spirits left. And one more. The Earth Dynasty's Level 3 Emperor had been watching the other 2 die and had just started to relax. At least it wasn't me. When the black blades from the ground surged toward him like a tidal wave of razor-sharp nightmares. No, please, don't kill me. Those were his last words. The blades turned him into confetti. 3 martial emperors, dead in seconds, before they could even properly introduce themselves. The remaining 6 shot into the sky so fast they probably left burn marks, absolutely terrified to touch the ground. So let's recap. 9 emperors showed up at my house like they owned the place, screaming and destroying property and making my citizens vomit blood. 30 seconds later, 3 of them were dead and the other 6 were hovering in the sky wondering how their easy mission became a horror movie. The intel said I was a yellow stage emperor. I'm Earth stage level 3. Someone at Imperial Intelligence is getting fired today. Assuming they survive, which, given the Emperor's personality, they probably won't. And me? I was still floating there, Qingshua's sword in hand, smiling at 6 very scared emperors who came here to cripple me. So I said, "Who's next?" This is impossible. Pale Pretty Boy was literally stuttering and pointing at me like I was a math problem he couldn't solve. Skull Grandpa and Baldy were bug-eyed too. All 6 remaining emperors just floated there, brains buffering, trying to process how their casual Tuesday errand had turned into a horror show in under a minute. Earth stage level 1 emperor, Baldy muttered, reading my energy signature. I floated up to their level, looked each of them in the eye, and shrugged. You guys are the 3 great dynasties? Seriously? That's disappointing. I let that sink in for a second. If this is all you've got, none of you are leaving here alive. They did not like that. But instead of responding, they started whispering to each other through secret sound transmission, which, by the way, I couldn't hear, but I could absolutely guess what they were saying based on how their expressions kept changing from scared to greedy. And I was right. See, Skull Grandpa figured it out first. This kid is 23 and he's already an Earth stage emperor. His grandfather didn't hit emperor until 40. There's only one explanation. Baldy's eyes went wide. He has the innate emperor body. A second one from the rebel bloodline. And just like that, I went from target to cripple to golden goose to capture. Because bringing back a living innate emperor body to the Xia Emperor, that's promotions, treasures, resources, maybe even enough to break through to Martial Saint. Their fear turned to greed. I could see it in their eyes. 6 wolves looking at a lamb. Except this lamb had 3 divine abilities and a very bad attitude. They convinced themselves of something incredibly stupid. He just used 3 divine abilities back to back. He must be running on fumes. He killed the 3 weakest guys first to scare us. It's a bluff. Baldy clapped his hands like he'd cracked the case. He's trying to intimidate us into running. Don't fall for it. Oh, buddy. If only you knew about the 9 aperture exquisite hearts recharging my spiritual energy at triple speed. But sure, keep thinking I'm bluffing. See how that works out. Attack. Skull Grandpa opened his mouth and spewed a tidal wave of black fog full of screaming, faceless ghosts clawing toward me. Absolutely disgusting. This man's dental hygiene must be catastrophic. Then all 6 came at me at once. Baldy Mawuji swung a massive pear blossom cleaver that whistled through the air like it was angry at the wind. I parried with my Qingshua sword. Clang, clang, clang. The impacts rattled my teeth. Pale Pretty Boy Han Xiang came at me with a poison dagger. The blade was jet black and dripping with something that was definitely not barbecue sauce. One scratch and I was probably dead or worse. I dodged that thing like my life depended on it. Because it literally did. The other 4 had a silver spear, metal gauntlets, and a spiked green whip. A whip. Someone brought a whip to a sword fight. I'd mock him, but it was actually incredibly annoying to deal with. The thing could wrap around my blade and yank it away if I wasn't careful. 6 against 1. In the sky above my city. Weapons clashing, energy exploding, the entire population below watching the most terrifying fireworks show of their lives. And here's the frustrating part. I was holding my own, but I couldn't finish anyone. My divine abilities were too slow to use mid-combat against 6 people who were actively trying to gut me. My 3 supreme-grade techniques from the 9 aperture hearts were strong, but against their emperor-grade techniques, it was like bringing a really nice knife to a gunfight. The power gap between supreme and emperor-grade is just too wide. I could block. I could dodge. I could counter. But I couldn't land a killing blow on any of them. Not bad for an emperor body, Skull Grandpa cackled. But I see through you now, boy. Outside of your divine abilities, you don't have a single technique that can actually threaten us. The other 5 were grinning now. They'd figured out my weakness. As long as they stayed mobile and kept the pressure on, I couldn't use my divine abilities, and my regular attacks weren't strong enough to break through their defenses. Is that what you think? I said coldly. Fine. You want to see what I'm hiding? Let me show you. I rocketed upward, channeling every drop of spiritual energy into my 2 exquisite hearts. All 3 supreme techniques inside them started humming, vibrating, screaming with power. I pulled out the big saber from Cloud Elephant Sect. Deep breath. Everything into the exquisite hearts. Cloud Elephant Heavenly Might Slash, but not the regular version. The 9-aperture exquisite heart-boosted version. A wall of saber energy, amplified, supercharged, absolutely monstrous, erupted outward, blotting out the sky like a tsunami made of pure cutting force. This was the technique that almost killed me when Yunfeng used it. The same technique I mastered over 1,000 dream years. Now powered by an emperor body, enhanced by the 9-aperture hearts, and swung by a man who was very angry. Han Xiang was closest. He felt the energy wave approaching, and his face went from smug to ghost white in 0 seconds. That's an emperor-grade technique. He has another trump card. Scatter. Don't block it, he shrieked at maximum volume. Too late to be giving orders now, pretty boy. Should have run when I gave you the chance. Han Xiang screamed, scatter, and then did what he does best. Ran away really fast. Assassin specialist, apparently. Dude could break the sound barrier when properly motivated by fear. But speed is a personal stat, not a team buff. I locked my Emperor's pressure onto the 3 weakest guys, the remaining Mystic Stage Emperors, and crushed them with so much weight they practically turned into slow-motion replays of themselves. Lord M.A., save us. They looked up at Baldy, who'd already teleported to safety, begging for rescue with the desperation of men who just realized they were the sacrificial pawns. Damn useless. Baldy bit his finger, drew blood, and summoned 4 giant white wolves covered in black runes out of thin air. They howled and charged at my saber wave, trying to body block it. You think dogs can stop me? Keep dreaming. I fired 5 Thunder Desolation Tyrant Star orbs at the wolves from impossible angles. Boom, 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 boom. 4 charred wolf carcasses went flying, and my Cloud Elephant Heavenly Might Slash sailed right through the gap, completely uninterrupted. 3 heads hit the ground simultaneously, like synchronized diving, except with necks. 6 out of 9. Dead. In minutes. How does he still have energy? Baldy screamed, veins popping on his forehead. He used 3 divine abilities and an Emperor-grade technique, and those lightning orbs. His spiritual power should be empty. Skull Grandpa was equally baffled. The legends say the innate Emperor body has bottomless spiritual reserves. But this is ridiculous. What they didn't know, what they couldn't know, was that I don't have the innate Emperor body. My secret weapons are the 9-aperture exquisite hearts and the Supreme Technique. The hearts give me 3 dantians instead of 1. The Supreme Technique lets me absorb spiritual energy several times faster than normal. So while they're counting my attacks and thinking, he must be running dry, I'm actually topping off my tank mid-fight like a gas station that follows you around. 3 dantians versus their 1. This was never a fair fight. They just didn't know why it wasn't fair. Just you 3 left, I said, turning to face them with my friendliest serial killer smile. Han Xiang visibly shuddered. The 3 leaders exchanged one look and made the fastest group decision in military history. Run. Don't think this is over, boy. Baldy screamed while already slicing open space to escape. Next time we come, you're dead. Real scary, Baldy. Very intimidating exit speech. Really lands when you're delivering it while running away. Han Xiang dissolved into shadows. Skull Grandpa turned into a cloud of creepy black fog. Baldy dove through a spatial tear. 3 different directions, 3 different escape methods. I considered chasing them for about half a second. Then I looked back at the city. My parents were down there. If this was a distraction, if someone else was hiding, waiting for me to leave, I'd never forgive myself. I let them go, landed softly on the city wall. Below me, the family heads of Star Language City were having collective mental breakdowns. Were those martial emperors? He killed 6 of them. 6 martial emperors. Isn't this the same guy we called trash a month ago? Who are you calling trash? That's our young lord. Shut your mouth before I shut it for you. One family head slapped another on the back so hard he stumbled. Suddenly, everyone was deeply loyal to the Xia family. Incredible how 6 dead emperors can improve your reputation. I knew he was special. That's why the 10 holy maidens came for him. A 23-year-old emperor. That's once-in-a-millennium talent. Do you think he's already a martial saint? Maybe higher? I should have stood with the Xia family from the beginning. Why did I run from Yunshan that day? The 2 family heads who'd abandoned us during the Yunshan incident were beating themselves up so hard they didn't need enemies. I landed on a quiet corner of the wall. Dad came sprinting over and grabbed me in a bear hug, so tight, I thought he was going to crack my ribs. He slapped my back, hard, tears streaming down his face. He didn't say anything. Didn't need to. His son, the trash, the embarrassment, the boy with the worst talent in the city, just fought 9 martial emperors alone and sent the survivors running home crying.